What's going on, everybody? Cali Death Podcast back once again, episode 91. As always, with my resident homies, Casey, Joel. I'm Anthony. What up to y'all? Going to be hanging out with us soon in the chat. Thank you to all the YouTube subscribers. All you guys are. That number keeps going up, and I love it, dude. It's just so cool. Tonight we're joined by a master and a legend, a guy that we have been fans of for I don't know, I would say
decades.
Decades.
That's how old I am. Decades.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's pretty close to that, dude. I would say I was like 20 or something when I came across Spastic for the first time. So, but yeah, dude, Ron, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, definitely, dude. And let's do some quick plugs real quick. Battleforgecoffee.com. Homies over there in Deeds of Flesh. They got that caffeine bean for you. There it is.
Y'all got this down, man.
Not really. We're still we're on the fly usually.
Yeah, there was some exchange crap and all that stuff.
We're still working out the latency issues with my clicking.
But yeah, get over there, buy some coffee, buy some swag. They're the homies, dude. Love them to death. I think we're sold out of shirts right now, guys, but you can go there when we tell you that we have more shirts. What is it? Oh, wait, no, I didn't even say it. CaliDeathPodcast.BigCartel.com. That's where we're going to have merch again soon. Let's do that tour real quick. Joseph's they're actually out there right now. The Professor's out.
Today, first show, Tacoma.
Yeah. Today's the first show. So if you're watching this, you should be out there, or I don't know.
Seattle, probably.
Yeah. So Seattle's Friday night. So that'll be this Friday. What is that? My eyes are terrible, dude. It's a Saturday. So they're not okay. So this Saturday at the Bar House in Seattle, go get brutalized by these bands, dude. They're all sick. And yeah. What about you, Ron? You got places on the internet that you want to plug for merch or information?
Right now, just doing ronjarzombek.com. And I've got that set up. It kind of looks like an app kind of a thing. Click on the app, and it'll go to different things.
I actually downloaded your app. That was you have an actual iPhone app, right? Or like a Apple
2412.
Well, actually, I have another one that's I just submitted it this week to Apple and Google, and it's already up right now on the App Store. But I'm still waiting for the Android to come up. But yeah, it's a brand new app, but I haven't even announced it or anything because I have to send it up. And I guess the App Store is faster than the Google Store. But yeah, it's a brand new app. It's not a multi-tracking. It's got backing tracks happening on it. It's another 12-note, 12-tone thing. It creates progressions, and it's I've got another one coming up. I've got some friends that actually played some examples for me on it, and that's going to be a tutorial demonstration video that's coming up. As soon as it's up on Google, I'm going to release that. But that's a brand new app.
Killer.
That's cool. So where did you come up with that idea though for the app? Because that was, if I remember correctly, the first one that you had, it was like you make a word and then it would make like a progression for you.
Well, the first one that I did was in 2012, and that was called Black: Beyond Life and Cosmic Kinetics. And that's a multi-tracking app to where you have it's one song, but it's you can choose from side A and side B, and you can select different solos and drum parts and stuff like that. And then I have two more multi-tracking apps, and then I have the play the name and create a riff where you can spell your name and stuff like that, and it'll create a tune. And then recently I had the System 2412 app, which creates progressions, and you can use the progressions in songs or whatever. But this new one, it creates backing tracks while it's creating progressions too. Hey Javier, what's up, man? That's one of the dudes that's on the demonstration tape. Javier.
Oh, killer!
Oh yeah,
awesome dude.
Hell yeah. So I mean, it's funny because you're like, well, you guys got this stuff down with like our as far as like our doing our podcast, but you're making fucking apps that like
Yeah.
create
Yeah, no, it's
music
kind
in
of
a
like
different way.
the old fart guys making apps, you know, and
But they're like very unique apps. They're actually very like they have a really cool like I was like writing in like butt farts and making a cool like progression out of it. And it was like, you know, when I first
did you
originally
spell
like got
butt
it,
fart yet? Did it sound good or
it
what?
sounded good. Every
Really?
word sounded good that I ever made.
Well,
Like,
the
and I was just like,
best
yeah.
one that I found was chocolate and cookies. It sounded really good. And I
Oh
remember
my God.
Fred Flintstone sounded pretty good too.
Yeah,
Sick.
yeah.
Do y'all
That's
even know
fucking
who that
hilarious.
is?
Oh
Hell
yeah, I know who
Come
that
on,
is. Yeah,
dude.
come on.
We're not that
Some of the
young.
young kids, they
40.
don't
We're
know.
almost 40. Yeah. We're getting there, you know.
Yeah.
Not young little
But
types.
yeah, the app thing came around because all the time when I'm, you know, doing music, I like something else associated with the music, not just, you know, the song itself. I want, you know, like Blotted Science, we did the Bug movies, we scored the Bug movies, and you know, I'm doing a lot of this stuff using all 12 notes, and I just like doing other stuff other than just writing and releasing songs. I want something else to be part of it.
Mhm.
You know, I always kind of think I'm a metal film score kind of guy that's just out of place or something, because that's really what I'd like to do.
Well, I read I forget where I read it, but you are a fan of Carl Stalling, correct?
Definitely, yeah,
Yeah.
love the dude. Yeah,
I remember reading something, I don't know, you could tell me if this is true or not, but when you were young and you were watching these cartoons, you would close your eyes, right? And you would be listening to Carl scoring the cartoon.
yeah, and then the thing about that and films too is something, if the music fits so well, you don't even know that it's there.
Yeah.
You know, and with Bugs Bunny cartoons especially, you know, that's what Carl Stalling did most of his work. I figured out so many of the lines, you know, when Tweety and, you know, Sylvester are chasing, you know, running around on the screen. I figured out a lot of those parts on guitar, and that's pretty much where Spastic Inc. Was born, was from a lot of that kind of that animation type of stuff,
Yeah.
you know, and it kind of that, you know, not so much Watchtower, but that bled into Blotted Science too with the Bug movies. It's always scoring, you know, that kind of thing like that. But Bugs Bunny cartoons, hot dog, I just love that stuff.
Oh, dude, it's pretty wild when you actually sit back as an adult watching, you know, with my kids.
Yeah.
I'm more so I'm watching every movement and
Mm-hmm.
listening to the score and seeing how every single note, every single progression part of the music that's playing, it goes with what's and then you watch the, you know, the Spastic song, A Wild Hair,
Yeah,
and
hot dog, yeah. Yeah,
yeah, and
Serial Mouse was another one we did. You know, I took Charlotte's Web
yep,
and we scored that too. That was more of that's a cartoon kind of thing.
right,
And those were cool. You know, and then a morning with Squeaky too. I have that all planned out, you know, when he's twirling the nut and chewing it and stuff like that, and then he throws a nut and hits the dog in the head, and you know, all that kind of crap like that. But yeah, that whole song could be animated, you know, I mean, movement to movement.
Well,
yeah.
like in movie scoring, they use like time coding and stuff. Did you like use that to get those parts, or just like map it out like musically?
Well, let me tell you something. When I did the Blotted Science, the Bug movies, you know, this was in 2000. What was it? Maybe 8 or 9 that I started doing it. 2008 or 9, and I had 2 computers. It wasn't where I could import a movie into Cubase or something like I can now. And I had 2 computers set up. Sex with Squeaky too. That's right, Javier. and 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 I had 2 computers set up, and one of them was the audio, and then the other one was the video, and I'd have to press both space bars at the same time, you know,
Wow.
to get them synced up and everything. Nowadays, you can just import a video and you can lay your click down and all that stuff like that. So, I mean, as primitive as things can get, that's what I did, like, especially for A Wild Hair. You know, when I transcribed all of Thumper's dialogue and everything.
Yeah.
You know, that was like with cassette tapes.
Wow.
You know, that, yeah, did that stuff when I was in Austin practicing with Watchtower. And I'd bring cassette tapes and write out as I tab it out and stuff like that, whatever Thumper was saying. And that was in mid 90s was the first Spastic Inc. Because we came out with 4 songs first, and A Wild Tear was one of those. And so that was the very beginning of Spastic Inc. And that started in 94.
That's crazy, dude.
So that was very primitive how that was all done.
So let's go back even further, because like I mentioned pre-show, since we're talking cartoons and all that kind of stuff, like it's perfect to just ask what was it, something else than like watching Looney Tunes? Was there an artist or a song that you heard as a child that made your ears perk up and pay attention a little bit more?
Well, aside from Bugs Bunny, somebody gave me a copy of the movie Troll. I don't know if y'all heard of Troll.
Oh yeah.
It's these little gnome kind of things or whatever, and that it just made such a big impact on me that after that I wrote a song on my first solo CD. The song is called Ants on My Windshield. I don't know if y'all heard that, but it's a story of I'm driving to my girlfriend's house, and then while I'm there, these ants get on top of my car, and they attack me on the way home, and it's pretty funny. But that was inspired by that movie Troll. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I would say Bugs Bunny came first, and then that movie Troll, and then I discovered John Williams, E.T. and stuff like that, and then Danny Elfman, of course, Edward Scissorhands.
Totally, dude.
Elliot Goldenthal came a little bit later. Jerry Goldsmith, all those film score guys. But
so it really was all about like the film scores from the beginning.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude. So
Bugs Bunny, man, Bugs Bunny.
Hell yeah, it's really technical shit that's going on in those cartoons, dude. And so you're a child though, like we want to know like what made you, like, first of all, your brother's crazy as shit too, so we definitely want to know what it was like to be in the Jarzombek house,
Well, the cool thing about Bobby was that we never had to look for other band members to play with when we were kids. They were in the same house. Me and Bobby, we first started, and then our older brother Ralph, he started playing bass. But the first real band kind of experience for us was the Beatles. My mom bought us the Red album and the Blue album by the Beatles, which was the best of. And around this time, the AM radio was kind of happening. A lot of pop stuff and all that kind of thing like that. But Beatles came first, and then Kiss came up after that. That was my first hard rock album. Was the first Kiss Alive album. And then after that came Rush. But there, you said what songs before we were going live. You said something. I remember a couple of songs. There was a neighbor of mine named Jerry, and he played Sweet Home Alabama.
Okay.
That country song or whatever. And then Smoke on the Water.
Sick.
You got to know that. Have you seen that T-shirt where it has it in tab?
No.
I need to get that. It's 0350365. There. Tab, and guitar players be like, yeah, that's cool. And nobody knows what we're talking about.
Smoke on the Water, real quick. Is that plucked? Or is it strummed?
Pretty sure it's just with a pick. I'm not sure if the first note is open strings on the 5th fret, but I mean that's classic. That's as classic as you can get.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, that was the first of it right there. Was Smoke on the Water, and then there's other songs. Green Eyed Lady. Have you heard Green Eyed Lady?
Oh yeah.
Sugarloaf, that was in there too. That was some, pretty big impact on me too. But yeah, the first one for me, I would say hard rock was the first Kiss album. The first album for me was Kiss Alive. And that was, Gene Simmons, Breathing Fire and all that stuff. Cool stuff.
So how old were you when you decided you wanted to play an instrument? Did you start with guitar? Did you start with piano? What did you do?
Piano first. And then I noticed, I always tell this story, but I was in singing class in 2nd grade, and I noticed that when we were singing the notes, they were going higher and lower. So I told my mom about it. She signed me up for piano classes, and I did that for 2 years, did recitals and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was playing football at the same, around that same time. And my friends were like, dude, why don't you play guitar? Why don't you do something cooler? So
Yeah.
so I ditched the piano, and mom was like, you're never going to play guitar as good as you play piano, and this kind of stuff like that.
Right,
and around
right.
this time, Bobby was playing drums, snare drum, and and then we started playing and stuff, playing some songs and stuff. It was pretty cool.
Can you remember the first song you guys played together? Was it, what'd you
Hawaii
cover?
5-0.
Oh, no shit.
Da 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 da. Do you know what that is?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah, that was the first thing that we played on stage was Hawaii 5-0.
Killer.
Nice.
And then we did some medley that had More Than a Feeling, Boston, and
Mhm.
Walk This Way, and some other stuff. And then our big song to play at gigs when our brother Ralph came in the band was Working Man by Rush.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's a great
And
song.
then, and I'm still doing a Rush tribute band. That's pretty much the only live playing that I'm doing these days. Is we've been together about, I don't know, maybe 13, 14 years.
Wow.
What kind of what albums are you exploring on? Are you going like hemispheres? Are you going out there with like a?
Well, I like the older stuff. I don't like anything past maybe Moving Pictures, Permanent Waves. It's not really my thing, but I love the 2112, Farewell to Kings, Hemispheres, that era right there. I usually wear the robe, the cape. I usually wear that on stage.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's
dude,
what they were
awesome.
doing around that time. But we
So
played some
good.
later songs too from Hold Your Fire and that. But most of the stuff is, play By Troy and the Snow Dogs, Xanadu, of course,
So
Tom
good.
Sawyer and all that kind of stuff like that.
Yeah, you got to play the crowd pleasers for sure. But did you ever get into like what for me and Casey, like probably, I mean, Hemispheres is our favorite, but like Circumstances and stuff
We
like that.
played that before. We don't play that anymore, but we do the trees off of that one.
Nice.
I think we played La Via Strangiato a couple of times, but it's kind of a crowd killer because everybody's waiting for vocals, and it's playing,
Right.
Yep.
for 9 minutes of just,
Goes on. Yeah, totally.
When's Amanda gonna start singing again?
Yeah, totally. Oh,
That's
man.
awesome.
So okay. Oh no, what were you gonna say, Joel?
I was gonna say around here in California, there's a really cool band that I couldn't make to the last show a couple weeks ago, but it's called Rash. It's like it's a Rush cover band, but they like almost look like them too. It's like the guy plays keyboards that looks like Geddy Lee, but he sings and does keyboards, and the guitar player looks dead on Alex Lifeson. Like it's
I thought about dyeing my hair blonde, but I haven't got to that point yet.
That's a commitment.
Yeah, that's pretty
But yeah, we've got 4 members. We have a vocalist, just vocals, and then actually the bass player in this is Pete from Spastic Inc.
Oh, damn.
Sick.
He does bass and keys and all that stuff. And but yeah, we're a 4-piece though.
Yeah.
And, it's a pretty cool gig.
So back to playing with your brothers.
Mhm.
What age were you at that time?
Oh, that's a good question. I'd say it was about 4th or 5th grade, whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when we were in 7th and 8th grade, it's when By Troy and the Snow Dog was out, and that song just made such a big impact on me. And we had a multi-piece song at that time, me and Bobby and Ralph, and that's where we were starting to even explore doing more crazy things other than just writing, songs.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of multi-piece kind of things like that. We were, not even in high school yet doing that stuff. And,
Right.
the whole Rush influence, we were doing, measures with, 5.5 over 4, which is, 11/8. But, a lot of experimental kind of, time signatures and stuff like that pretty early on. That was
what made you guys want to go that route and start?
It was just a heavy Rush influence.
Yeah,
that's all it was. I think for me, Kiss, all the theatrics of Kiss was a big impact. But the Rush, just the playing and the writing and everything was just a real big impact on me and Bobby.
Mm-hmm. So, did Ralph continue playing?
Yeah, he was he's older than me and Bobby, and he actually has a master's degree in music.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah, Bobby went to school a little bit, but Bobby's the one that's doing all the touring and the huge stadiums and stuff now. And yeah, but Ralph has it's either a bachelor's or a master's, but he's like a musical genius.
Well, it makes sense, dude. I mean,
Yeah, I'm kind of in between. I've had a couple years of college theory, but Ralph is like, yeah, he's like a just crazy.
so are
genius.
you the middle? Are you the middle?
No, I'm the youngest one.
The youngest. Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
And it's just you three? That's
Yeah,
three
yeah.
boys?
Ralph played bass with us for a while, but it was mostly me and Bobby pushing the whole, writing our own, doing our own thing. But Ralph's the one that, went to music school and got his degree and everything like that.
Is he-
Ricky, I'll shout out for Ricky. Did he have any bands or anything that people can check out?
He played a little bit around town, but yeah, he wasn't in bigger bands like what me and Bobby are doing. He's kind of yeah, he does a little bit of writing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But,
So then you guys get into high school, and what happens in high school? Like, you and Bobby never stopped playing. Was Ralph still jamming with
yeah,
you?
Ralph
later in
was
high
with
school?
us, but yeah, we started a band. It was called Tarot. I guess I'll tell this story. You want to hear the stupid story?
right.
I tell it all the time. We saw the word TAROT, and we thought it was pronounced tarot, okay? But it's really tarot.
Yeah.
Like tarot cards.
Right.
And and so, anyways, we said we don't like how that sounds. We don't like tarot. We wanted to be tarot, so we added an R in there.
Nice.
And it was TARROT was the name of the band, and they always said Tarot Carrot and this kind of stuff like that. But we did quite a few gigs. That's where I played my first bar when I was 16, the Razzle Dazzle Club.
Nice.
That was pretty cool. Yeah, we did some originals and stuff like that. We did covers, Scorpions, Judas Priest, some Triumph. What else did we do? UFO, a lot of UFO. I think we had some Kiss songs in the Rush, of course. And
what were the originals? What were the originals? Could you compare them to?
Bobby wrote the lyrics. I remember our big hit was Black Rose of Death.
Nice.
And we had Hades Insects was another one. Something with Razor Blade, I think, was another one. But yeah, our big hit was Black Rose of Death.
So it always seems like humor's always been a part of it.
I don't know. Blame Bobby. He's the one that came up with the lyrics for that stuff.
But even with like your later stuff too, there's always a little bit of humor.
Well, when we started doing Spastic Inc., we just had this wordplay, happening. We had, the Mad Data Race is the Mad Rat Race.
Mm-hmm.
Eights is enough is 8 is enough. And do y'all know Harmon Halftime Baking Shuffle is Arm & Hammer Baking Soda?
Oh wow, dude! That's one that I was just reading today, and I was like, "Where's that? Where would that reference come from?"
Yeah, Bobby just came up with that's Bobby's drum solo song, and he came up with that.
That's killer.
And, what else is on that album?
Arm & Hammer too. It's like
Harmon Halftime Baking Shuffle is what that one's called. But yeah, we've always been playing around with words, and then on the second Spastic Inc. CD, there's multi-masking, which is multitasking, because back then they were doing all the backwards masking and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Aquanet was Hairspray or I don't know. Anyway.
Right. Yeah.
The Serial Mouse had to do with the serial SERIAL mouse, and we did the serial. But anyways.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's hilarious.
So cool, dude.
Great, dude.
Okay, so you did your first gig in high school. There's partial originals and a bunch of covers. Take us from there. Like, I want to know like how you guys kept forging it and getting to the point where you and Bobby decide to start Spastic Inc.
After that, I was I got in a band called S.A. Slayer.
Yep.
Or Slayer. and then we had to change it to S.A. Slayer because the real Slayer, the California Slayer, they had the rights to the name and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And around this time, Bobby had always been playing with country bands. And but his first metal band in town was a band called Juggernaut.
Okay.
And then after that, he got into Riot. And then when Slayer disbanded, then that's when I got into Watchtower.
How did you meet the guys in Watchtower? Was it just from
We
the local
gigged with
scene?
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
S.A. Slayer in Watchtower, and there's a band from Houston called Hellstar. And S.A. Slayer was the big band in San Antonio, Watchtower was the big band in Austin, and Hellstar was Houston's band. And we would play, in Houston, San Antonio. I don't know if we played Dallas, but the three of us, we'd always be on the same bill together. We got along great,
Mm-hmm.
And that's where, that's when I met the guys in Watchtower. And soon after, Billy took off, and then I hopped into the Watchtower spot.
So, from energetic disassembly
Mhm.
to Control, was there any demos of the Control stuff before you joined, or
Yeah,
was
they
that
released it. It's called, God, dog, I forgot what it's called, but they released some of the songs. Billy's playing 4 of the songs on there, and they released that. God, dog, what's the name of that? I forgot it. But anyways, I have a couple of songs where I played demos on that, and but the actual songs were released on Control and Resistance. Billy wrote half of the songs with Doug, and then I wrote the other half with Doug.
okay?
But yeah, it's floating around someplace.
Yeah, I got like a compilation of like the B-sides and demos of
Yeah.
Watchtower. I'm sure it's on there. I know
Yeah,
that
that
there's
was just the one that has Billy on there. That was just a bedroom recording. It was called Tape for Dum Dum, and they made that tape, I guess, when Jason was writing lyrics, or working lyrics out or something. I'm not sure who Dum Dum was, but it was called Tape for Dum Dum, and that's what I learned all of the songs off of that cassette tape. I
wow.
mean, that tape needs to be framed someplace. That was such a huge,
So
piece of,
cool.
yeah, and the whole Watchtower story. Tape for Dum Dum.
So going from Essay Slayer and everything you were doing previously, like,
Mhm.
when you joined Watchtower, did you feel like you had to level up, or were you already?
Well, Billy was like the hotshot dude, and in Texas, I guess you could say. I mean, he was like Lord God King.
Yeah.
And I had reservations about joining Watchtower just because, trying to step into Billy's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty big deal to do that. But I eventually got in, and we recorded the Control and Resistance record, and I thought I did pretty good.
Fuck yeah,
The
dude.
solos on there I think are really good. Not to be, but I thought I did pretty good with the Billy songs. He wrote the songs, and I did my own solos. And I think they stand out and everything. And I thought I did pretty good on that album.
You definitely did, dude. I mean, we came across Spastic first, but as soon as we fell in love,
Yeah.
as soon as we fell in love with your work, dude, we wanted to know everything about you before that, and so we got keen to Watchtower, and goddamn, those. I mean, Incomplete and Control and Resistance were constantly being played at because we're all in a band. Well, you know about that. Wait,
Yeah.
I didn't even mention that, dude.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
The elephant in the room. Hey.
Yeah, we will. We'll get
I
to
tell
it.
you what, man, when y'all asked me to do that, I don't know how far back we're going to go with this whole death metal thing, but
Yeah.
we got to talk about Blotted Science here or there, but
Oh, yeah.
y'all were one of the first bands that asked me to do a guest solo, and it was because of the Blotted Science thing.
Right.
And I just remember I just had such a good time with that song.
Dude.
Oh,
And
we
I did all
loved
the
it,
harmonies and all that stuff like that. And I listened, somebody mentioned to that something that came up on Facebook or wherever, and I listened back to that solo, and I was like, God, that was such a good opportunity just to do a guest solo. That's one of my favorite guest solos that I've ever done.
Let's just talk. We'll talk about it real quick. That's I can't believe that I'm hearing you say that, dude. But we'll have to. Let's talk about it real quick. So back in like 2005 or 6,
yeah.
Okay,
2006.
So we were recording in 2006. It came out in 2007, right?
So we did Odious Mortem, Cryptic Implosion. And we, after the Bloodletting tour in the summer, we recorded with Zach Oren at Casa Ultimate Studios, and then we Anthony.
The reason why I knew I was
got a hold of Ron somehow.
I was gonna start it off with that. So the reason why Ron and I started talking back then is as soon as I heard that Blotted Science was going to be a thing, I was this kid like, I want to try out for vocals. So I was like, I emailed Ron. I was like, I want to try out for vocals. And then he was so nice. He got right back to me. He's like, it's just going to be an instrumental project. But we ended up staying in touch. And Casey picked me up to take me down to SoCal
drive.
And we were just, spitballing like ideas and shit for the album. And I was like, I've been in touch with Ron, dude. Like, how cool would that be if we got him on a song, And you were totally into it, and bro, I remember hearing your solo, and I got welled up. I was like,
we listened to it probably 300 times.
I remember when that happened.
Yeah,
I remember we were like having a party at like this house that we lived at, like in Santa Cruz. Like at least Joel and I, we lived in the same apartment, and it was like, oh shit, the email just came in. Everyone, shut up! Like turn the music off. Turn the music off. And it was just like turn it on. And we were just like. Dude, it was like the most.
It was one of those moments where, obviously, we were expecting it to be,
it was beyond expectation.
It blew us away, dude.
I was like, how could this even be?
I don't know. Yeah, I just remember writing the solo, and I was like, this is such a cool thing to write a solo over. It just worked. Everything about it just worked,
Well, dude, I think that's so fucking cool that you're saying that, dude. And the fact that, it's one of your favorite guest solo, dude. I'm gonna sleep happy tonight, guys.
I mean, I would say it is probably my favorite guest solo that I've done. If y'all really
Jesus. That's fucking cool, dude. Yeah, and it's on our album, guys.
I have one gripe about the solo is that I jumped to the guitar and then they're like, hey Joel, you want to do Jarzombek solo live? And I was like, God. I had to fucking,
and we didn't.
No, I did. I had to do a very simplified version of it because I was like, I'm not that insane.
How did you do all the harmonies and all that stuff?
No, there was no harmonies. It was just me getting through the solo because we liked the song so much, and obviously you were on it, and it was just all these things. We were like, we got to play that live somehow, and I was looking at the actual lead guitar player, like, how are you going to do that? And he's like, you're doing that. I'm not doing that. I was like, and I was like, all right. I sat there just for weeks just trying to get a dumb version of it down where it's like a very simplified version of what you were doing because I was like, you actually sent us the tabs, by the way, too.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I think you sent us the music to it.
We have it. And we still have it.
Yeah, we still have it. And
back with Watchtower, I had a Digitech preamp, I remember, and because on Control I did a lot of harmonies and stuff on there, and I used to have a pedal that I would hit. I remember on Mayday in Kiev, I had to hit it 13 times while I was playing the solo and stuff. But that was the normal thing that I did. And if y'all want to talk about Blotted Science, I know we're going to end up talking about that a little bit. But I remember we had that rehearsal, and I remember the whole thing about Blotted Science possibly playing live. I didn't know how we were going to do that. You get another guitar player or whatever, but that's always something that I think guitar players go through is, when they record something in the studio, you can add so many layers and everything like that. But when it comes to the live part about it, and I remember at that rehearsal, I was like, damn it, am I going to, tap it with my foot or have a switch on my guitar to activate all these harmonies and stuff like that? And I remember I was kind of flipping out about it, but with Watchtower, it was just hit that pedal, cut it off, different harmony, different interval, and I would just keep going on, and all my solos on the whole Control album, I just had them all lined up, and I just did all those harmonies like that,
Crazy.
But Yeah, sorry about that. Whoever had to work all that stuff out.
Oh man, that was
Well,
like
so
the
I
most
like
like anxiety ridden moments of my life. Where like, all right, we're playing the song, we're getting, you know, we're getting to the solo part, and but by the time the song starts, I'm just thinking about the solo.
you have
Like,
anxiety.
I'm like, fuck, this is not gonna be a thing I can do. So so I had to.
Did
Like
we
I said,
play it
make
more
really
than
tough.
once live?
We did. Yeah, we played it probably, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, something like that. But it was, you know, I was trying to do an ode to you, but it's like I'm, you know, a quarter of the level of your guitar playing. So I was like, Jesus,
But we
man.
loved that song so much. That's why we
had
threw
to.
it in the set.
Yeah, it's a great song too.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, you guys probably don't know this whole story, but before Blotted Science, I really didn't listen to death metal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Blotted Science started after Spastic Inc. fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if fell apart is the right word, but when it was over, you know, and I wanted to combine to form Blotted Science. I wanted to combine, you know, me, which from the technical, you know, proggy kind of metal thing, and then I wanted to get, you know, heavier side, and so of course that would be death metal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that was you know, Alex came from that, and then originally we had Chris Adler.
That's right.
That's right.
From
Yeah.
Lamb of God.
How did you link up with Alex? Like, how was that connection made?
Yeah, somebody asked me about this before, and from what I remember, I had a student that was friends with Alex, and you know, Cannibal Corpse. You know, it was real scary for me. I grew up with Scorpions and UFO, and you know, a lot of you guys, you know, you're into the whole death metal thing, but I just really wasn't really, you know, that wasn't my thing.
Yeah.
But when I wanted to, you know, get Blotted Science going, you know, it's like he was like the perfect dude, you know, to do, you know, he's Mr. Cannibal Corpse,
Right.
you know. And I remember I saw a video of those guys. It was on a DVD, Wretched Spawn
Mm-hmm.
was, and they have this song on there called Frantic Disembowelment.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if y'all have seen that video.
Yep, I have.
But holy shit.
Them in the recording studio, right?
Yeah, I saw that video and I was like, I gotta get this, dude. I don't care if I'm scared of him or whatever. You know?
Yeah,
so,
that's so funny.
But yeah, I hooked up with him through MySpace, believe it or not, somehow.
Right.
And then that student of mine, his name was Axel, he kind of said, hey, yeah, you got to talk to Alex. He's a you know, super cool guy. And I was like, oh, are you sure? And I remember I was at lessons, and this was like the early 90s, and somebody brought in a Cannibal Corpse cassette for me to figure out a song. And it was the Eaten Alive or something. What's the name of that?
Eaten Back to Life.
Yeah. And I remember the song that stood up to me was called Bloody Chunks. And I was like, your mom's letting you listen to this stuff? This is like a 15-year-old kid.
Right. That's like a common misconception, you know. Most death metal guys you meet are chill, cool guys.
Yeah,
well, the main thing
cool.
with that though is like with Cannibal Corpse and stuff like that, like we are pretty open to watching a horror movie. You know, it's like it's the norm to watch a horror movie, a scary movie. They just did that like with music. You know, it's a horror movie but music. It's not like we actually want to kill you. You know, it's like telling us a scary story like through an aggressive style of music. So now like, and once you know like all those guys and see where it comes from, they're like the nicest people on earth.
Yeah, Alex is a sweetheart. Alex is a sweetheart. Every time I met him, he was great.
Yeah, and I went over Alex's place one time, you know, when we did that temple rehearsal, and he had these two cute little dogs. You know, and him and his wife out petting their little dogs and stuff. And I'm like, you know, this is the Bloody Chunks guy. You know, but anyways, yeah, back to this story. You know, I had to get a hold of some guys to do this, you know, to do this Blotted Science thing, and so, you know, Alex was like the perfect guy to do it. But when I did that, I had to start listening to death metal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though I hadn't done that before, and so I bought like, you know, 4 or 5 Cannibal Corpse CDs and just started listening to it. And I'm not a big fan of the, the Cookie Monster stuff.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But no offense, Anthony,
That's all good.
but
All
when,
good, dude.
but when we did the Blotted Science stuff, then it's like, then I was getting some people, death metal fans, and I was thinking, I got to get more into this death metal stuff, And then it came up. This is where I'm headed with this. Then I started getting asked to play guest solos on death metal bands.
Right.
And I'm like, fuck, I'm just not used to this stuff.
Yeah.
Because the reason I got into it was because I wanted to make another band that combined, proggy techie stuff with death metal.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that's when I started getting more into the death metal stuff. But before Blotted Science, I was not into death metal at all. It just wasn't part of my, what I listened to at that time. But yeah, then I was just getting so many opportunities to play on death metal bands, as guest solos and stuff like that. And it was just kind of strange.
Well,
I don't know. I remember talking to Alex about, I'd be listening to the Cannibal Corpse songs, and I was like, when Pat is picking that fast, is he playing triplet 16ths or what is he playing? And I was like, I think he's just playing as fast as he can.
Yeah.
The tremolo picking, I didn't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, with me, it's all, timed out and structured and everything. And, I had to learn all of that stuff about death metal, blast beats and all of that kind of thing like that was pretty new to me. And again, before Blotted Science, I just didn't really listen to that stuff.
That's wild, dude.
Yeah. But from the death metal, I learned that, the musicianship that those guys, it's just unreal. You guys, anybody watching, watch the Cannibal Corpse video, Frantic Disembowelment. It's going to blow your socks off.
Hell
it's
yeah.
Unbelievable.
Definitely.
And Alex definitely shows his virtuoso as a bass player on the Blotted records. He really shines through and says, obviously with Cannibal, he is a great player, but I'm saying like stepping out of that brutal Cannibal Corpse style into the Blotted Science and really having his own voice on those Blotted records, it's really brought him up further for me as a bass player.
He's a prog nerd though. You can tell like Alex is into the prog. You can definitely see like just from talking to him and just understanding his style. Like he's maybe was prog when he was a kid. He's maybe going back to it now. You don't know, but like he was definitely kind of. He writes a lot of that, like the Frantic Disembowelment. He might have wrote that. Like he writes like a lot of the Cannibal stuff that's crazy. It's like, who wrote that? It's fucking Alex, the bass player. You know what I mean? Like
he's the Steve Harris of Cannibal, basically.
Yeah, I don't know it. I don't know if he's had any solos on any Cannibal Corpse CDs, but yeah, on the first Blotted Science CD, he has a solo. God, I don't remember the name of the song, but I mean, he's got a little bass feature on that thing, and then on the EP on Vermicular Asphyxiation, he has a real bass solo on that song, and I thought that was kind of cool to put that on there.
Nice.
Definitely. I mean, for you, like, so with death metal, like the farthest that you kind of got was it maybe Cannibal and stuff like that? Was that kind of where you got your palette and that you're like understanding the scene, or did you go any farther into because they've got obviously like every genre goes a little crazier and crazier and crazier. Did you ever dive deep? Like we had someone asking about, what's your influences on the technical death metal scene? 'Cause there's like a technical death metal genre where it's like based on going as bananas as you can and making all the odd time signatures and stuff like that, and they can do. And have you really dived in besides Cannibal?
That's a good question. Back then, I was listening to other stuff. I remember Derek Roddy. What's his band?
Hate Eternal.
Yeah, Hate Eternal.
Yeah,
because when Chris Adler didn't work out, mainly because of Lamb of God was, coming up, touring with Metallica and all this kind of stuff. Derek Roddy was the next guy that we were looking in, and so I listened to some of Derek Roddy's stuff, and the guy was just so accurate with his blast beats and everything like that. And yeah, you just gotta say, damn, you know. But yeah, with Derek, we just had some communication issues, and he just wasn't the right guy for the gig. You know, Charlie came in a little bit later.
Yeah. So how'd that come about?
Yeah,
Charlie's from Behold the Octopus, right?
What's that? Yeah.
Behold the Octopus.
I saw. Well, what I did was, from what I remember, was I put up a REM, the song REM from the Machinations album. I put up I think this is what happened, but I remember I had people sending me drum tracks to that song, and I think Charlie did that one, and I liked it. But I remember I did see him play in Austin at Emo's, and it just knocked my socks off. Dysrhythmia was another band that I saw at that same club.
I saw that same tour.
Yep.
We went and saw that, and that I always say this. It was a $6 cover charge for that show, $6 to get in, and it was $1 Pabst beer. So I got to see Dysrhythmia and Behold the Octopus and drink 10 Pabst for $16, dude.
Yeah.
That's a deal.
Yeah, that's like mind blowing right there. Yeah, Jeff Bieber and Colin Marston, I think is his name.
Yep.
Have you seen that guy on that stick?
War guitar, or it's the Chapman stick.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That
He's
guy.
sick. I know, right?
Yeah. We've had someone on here that grew up with him too, and he was just always been one of those guys that's just been pushing things to the next level. You know,
he's
just
crazy.
insane. Yeah.
Well, seeing Colin play the war guitar shit too, I had never seen that instrument previous to Behold the Octopus, and that was hypnotizing, dude. Watching that guy.
Yeah, he's crazy.
Is that Tony Levin?
All over the place.
Is that the same in King Crimson? Is that
Tony Levin? It's pretty. Yeah. I think it's pretty.
I
much
wasn't really too. I mean, I was familiar with like the King Crimson music, but I never really watched any live footage or anything. And same thing with like Chapman. The Chapman stick.
It's basically the same thing. I think it's the same thing, right? I think it's like just
I don't even know.
I think it's just the low strings
kind of thing.
So it's the finger tapping technique, but I think the war guitar is like
it's a brand.
It looks like it's like a guitar and a bass together.
That's what
almost,
Chapman
right?
stick is too. It's the same thing. It's like I think it's a brand of
the Chapman's like kind of small. Like
it's more of a guitar you're talking about, like sitting like this, like kind of more like
the
horizontal, not vertical.
A Chapman fretboard seems more similar to just a regular, maybe a 6 or 7 string bass guitar fret neck.
Yeah, the first time I heard that was a song called Elephant Talk by King Crimson. They came on. It was like a Saturday Night Special or something like that. But I remember I saw that tapping. It was pretty freaky.
Dude, if I had money, I would just buy a war guitar just to have that on the wall because it looks like a sick art piece, dude.
Yeah.
I'll never learn how to play it.
On that thing though is just crazy.
It's wicked, dude.
Nuts.
It's insane. Yeah, I mean, he takes over like lead guitar on it and goes to tap bass stuff on it, and like he's all over the place with it. It's just definitely pushing the boundaries. Are they doing it? Are they a band anymore? Like Behold Octopus?
Isn't he?
I don't know yet. Charlie got out. Charlie got out when pretty soon after we did the Blotted Science thing.
I think that Colin's got it like that one black metal weird project that he's got. It's called like Krallice or something like that.
Oh yeah, okay.
Krallice.
Definitely.
So all right, we were at Blotted Science though. Okay, so
here it goes. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say where we left off was
just ask me, just go.
No, I wanted to save that one for later, dude.
All right.
But hey, you want to be asked, it sounds like.
It's coming up.
All right, I'm gonna do it. When are we gonna see some more Blotted Science material?
Okay, here's the thing. Alex came into town with Cannibal a couple of months ago, and we were talking about it a little bit. And there is a possibility that we would do another one, but right now we don't have plans, to do another one. But we did have some songs written. Hannes wrote 4 or 5 songs. I wrote 4 songs. Webster wrote one or two songs, but yeah, we had material ready for another CD, and it just wasn't, just because various things, it just wasn't coming together, the old musical differences kind of thing. And then Hannes ended up using his songs on his solo CD called, I think it's called Epithemia or something like that.
Yeah.
But the songs that he wrote for Blotted, this was like 4 or 5 years ago. The songs that he wrote for Blotted Science, he ended up using, he reworked them and added vocals and stuff like that. But he released those songs on his solo CD. And then I have 4 of the songs that I wrote for the third Blotted Science CD, and I released one of them called, what is it, Phonetically Inconsistent Velocities Entwined, 5 FIVE.
Yeah.
I released that, but I have 3 more songs. But when Alex and I were talking a couple of months ago, he said that if we did write another Blotted Science CD, we'd start fresh. We wouldn't use those 3 songs that I had written before. And he actually recorded bass on another one of those songs too. But it's not like, I get along great with Alex. Musically, we work together very, very well. And, it's a possibility, but I think just for both of us, it has to just move up on our list of priorities, with whatever we're doing.
Right.
And, right now I'm just kind of, I've been doing this app thing for a while. I've been working on putting this tutorial together for the last 2 months or so. It's just what I want to do at this time. And then I have another solo CD that I want to do.
Oh,
that's been in the works for about 4 or 5 years. But there could be another Blotted Science. But I think we'd have to just move it up on our priority list of what we're doing.
I do have a question, actually, and this might be my lack of research, but I do remember that you posted a clip of an instructional video coming out. Did that ever get released? I remember seeing you. There was a clip of it talking about I forget exactly what you're talking about, but it was something about some circle of something.
Yeah, the
circle
circle
of
of tones back then. What happened with that was I was going to have a DVD. I was going to have 3 DVDs, and I just figured out I was pretty much, focusing on that was my main focus for probably about 2 years. And, this is when people they're not buying DVDs anymore. I just kind of figured out how much money it would take me to print up all the copies for the different territories and everything. And it's a select audience too. It's not like a Metallica CD or DVD that everybody's going to buy. This is a select, number of people that are going to be into this kind of stuff. And I figured, it's going to cost me I figured it'd be about $6,000 or $7,000, just to get the DVDs printed up. And if people aren't buying this stuff anymore, then I was like, I might as well just kind of release it, just digitally on the net. And so I released a couple of the things like that. But after a while, I was just like, screw this. And so I just put the whole thing up on the net. I just said, screw it. I'll just take the loss, because I didn't want to, I wanted more people to check it out too. And, but that one was called Dissecting Bugs. That's where I took apart all the songs on the Animation of Entomology, the second Blotted Science, the EP. And I spent so much time on that thing. And, I planned to do all this big DVD and everything like that, but it was just not the thing to do, to have all those costs and everything and just have nobody buying DVDs. They just want to watch it on YouTube. And do that kind of thing like that. But where that is headed is that I have a lot of material that I want to put out there, but I don't know if I should put it out in a book, if I should try to get like a Patreon kind of a thing, if I should get a Twitch account, but there's so many things that I want to get out, about writing tools and different things like that. So far I've just come up with trying to do apps. Right now that's what I'm doing with that. But I'm thinking I might do a book. I don't know if I'm going to end up doing a book or not.
That'd be amazing.
I got to get this stuff out somehow, and I just don't know what outlet I should go with to do that. But yeah, I was thinking DVDs for a while, but it's just people aren't buying physical.
Well, it's
stuff
like
anymore.
it's one of those things too. I mean, you re-released Incomplete on vinyl. Plug right here, but it's one of the. I don't have a record player really. I ever use, you know.
Hey, I got. Yeah.
So I mean,
hey,
but the thing is, though, I needed it for my to be like in my house. I needed it to be like, you know, to be on my wall. I had to take it down for this.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
You go ahead.
The promo that I made for that, where I'm talking about it and did all that Star Wars thing and all that stupid stuff. The record player that I put the needle on, I had to borrow that from my wife's parents. I don't even have a turntable. You know, I don't have it anymore. But
yeah,
you know, it's the thing about those vinyls. It's just so cool to have it though.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, and on the Spastic ink things that I did, I wrote up, you know, on the inner sleeve, I wrote the whole story of you know, how the first Incomplete happened, and then, you know, when Incompatible, when things were falling apart. And you just don't do that anymore with, you know, all this downloading and everything. I know I'm all old school and no fart and all this kind of stuff.
Hey, but I'm going to say that we're actually old school. Well, at least me too. I still buy physical copies of CDs of bands that I want to support. If I could buy it straight from them, that's the way I'm going to do it. Yeah. And same thing with like DVDs too. If I would have been one of the guys that would have, even though you would have been taking your loss, I would have owned one of those DVDs. I'm not even a guitar player.
That's what I was saying. That he said he released it digital, and I was like, my joke that I was coming up by putting that I don't even have a record player, but I have the record, would be something funny like release the instructional DVD or whatever instructional video on Laserdisc or something, you know. Like I think that would like it'd be like no one's got a fucking Laserdisc, but they want to like have the
you want to check it out.
Yeah. Now like, put something cool like what you said, like you wrote some stuff that's really cool in it, or like include something like because cassettes are coming back all of a sudden. People are buying cassettes all the time. It's like
weird, right?
Yeah, literally bands are releasing albums and they have a brand new cassette with it. It's like it'd be kind of a funny move. I mean, for Ron Jarzombek, it'd be kind of a funny, like I think it would make sense. Like, be kind of, it's like, you know, with all the technological jokes and stuff and all the music and stuff, just to give them a laser disc.
Yeah, well, the new ones that we're now doing, the same company, Alone Records, we're doing the Blotted Science, both of the Blotted Science. We're going to have more vinyl of that, and I guess we're going to have some more crazy splatter. You know, something else crazy on that, and then we're also doing. My solo CD, Solitarily Speaking of Theoretical Confinement, that's going to come out on vinyl too. But but what's kind of sucking about that whole thing is I specifically wrote that CD to be on a CD because it's got 45 tracks. You know, and so when you put it on an album, you know, I'm not going to have on one side, it's not going to have 22, you know, separate songs where you can put the needle on, you know. And so I'm having to pair up songs and do all this kind of weird stuff like that. But, you know, it's going to be cool to see it on the huge thing, you know, and we're going to have to do some crazy stuff with that vinyl too.
As an artist, seeing a record like the recent Odious release that we did came out on vinyl too. And yeah, it's something special to be like, oh, dude, our music is etched into this material.
I just had an idea.
Yeah.
Bands.
Yeah, because you can make a CD, you can make your own CD, you can run stuff on a cassette, but to make it on vinyl, you know, that's the real thing.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Casey?
Dude, bands should just release like those plaques like with the vinyl and the whole thing. Just bands should sell those. Because no one like is gonna put it up. They just want like a poster. But it's the vinyl with all the sick shit. It looks all dope. I just thought of that, dude. I'm off that.
When I think of vinyl, I think of like that scene in Star Wars where they drop down into the canal and they're going around. But I'm like, there's all these ebbs, these like ups and downs going on. I'm like, that's what the needle must be like running along this canal that's inside the vinyl, and it's pressed in such a way that my shitty death metal growls are in there somewhere.
Have you
And
seen
then,
the close-ups of those grooves on the albums?
Oh yeah, the like microscopic grooves. Yeah, it's insane.
That's crazy looking
it's
stuff.
what
Yeah.
that's the shit that trips me out, dude. Just
Yeah.
like and how infinite the possibilities with the vinyl too, because anything can be pressed into it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do with these new releases, but we're right in the middle of it right now. You know, I'm getting the graphics all together and everything. So I don't know how many months it's gonna be, but it's definitely gonna happen. So we're gonna have Alone Records is gonna have both Blotted Science CDs on vinyl, and Solitarily Speaking will be on vinyl too. And I got to get some cool shirts. I got to figure out what I'm gonna do with the shirts. And,
yeah, I'll own all the shirts. Get all the shirts, and I'll buy all the shirts, dude.
And then the bug Blotted Science one, and then the skull shirt too. Probably will get that too. That should be kind of cool.
Yeah, and the second you announced the, like I said, pre-pod, that you announced the vinyl, I was like, well, that's insane. To me, that was because, I mean, pretty much how Spastic Inc. came into our lives was my brother. My brother was like, oh, let me, you want to check out something crazy? And I remember seeing the cover of it and being like, okay, what's this? What's going on? Because I was like into the Deftones. I was into like, you know, I was 15 or 16 years old. And he's like, this is the craziest music I've ever heard. And I always had it in my back pocket as like, when someone's like, oh, this is the craziest stuff ever. And I'm like, no, it's not. This is, and so like, I remember Casey and I met Casey and stuff when I was 20 or 19, something like that. And it was kind of a little bit, you know, when we're younger, it's kind of a pissing contest of trying to find, you know, what's the coolest thing or the craziest thing. And that would just be the one. I'm like, all right, we'll check out my, the one that's like locked and loaded. Here we go. And,
right.
I remember like Casey's like, what the hell is it? My brother Andres showed it to me. He's like, this is the most insane music that's been made so far. And I was like, and I looked up to him in a lot of, you know, respects before that too, with influences and stuff like that. So I took it very seriously when he said that. And because I was just getting into death metal. I remember it was like just starting to get into it, and he's already been into it since it started. He was like one of the early 90s, late 80s kind of guys that were just way into it, like pretty early on. And he was like, check this out. It was like basically like bestowing, he was like knighting me with like the craziest music that he's heard. And I remember Casey and our whole group of friends and stuff were all about the most progressive, crazy shit we could find. And that was my bomb on everyone. Just like, boom, check this out. And that's kind of how it kind of like infected our group a little bit, was through my brother.
Yeah, it was. Oh, go for it, Casey. Sorry.
I was gonna say, and then it turned into us being like obsessed with Cacophony, and of course Jason Becker and Marty Friedman and Paul Gilbert and all the Racer X and all that kind of stuff.
Shred
and like,
started spreading.
But I was always just like, yeah, but dude, Jarzombek's the best. Like I mean, and like I don't know, dude. Like
so ahead of the time.
Solitaire, dude. Solitaire, dude. I like listened to that so much, and like I was like listening to it a bunch, like recently, just going like. It was like taking me back like 20 years, like you know, as I used to have the CDs and stuff, and I was like, dude, like, oh my god, like Minor Else and all that stuff, like, dude, like got the runs, dude, just like that. It's my favorite, dude. And like, and I just wanted to say, like, I have so much respect for you, and it was super cool how you like you played with Marty Friedman, right? You did like that tour.
Yeah, I did 2 tours with Marty. I did the Europe.
Blew my mind, dude. So sick.
First, we did a West Coast run. That was called the Guitar Revolution Tour. That was with Chris Poland. Did a thing called Ohm, and then Alex Skolnick had his own trio.
Oh, that's right.
And then we went to a couple years later. That was in 2003, I think. And then in 2007, we did a Europe thing, and then Japan, and there was the Exhibit A and Exhibit B.
That's
CD
right.
and DVD that happened from that.
Okay, right.
And that was the end of that. That was it. You know, what kind of sucked about that whole Marty Friedman thing? Oh, we're on 3 now. Hang on, I gotta send that. Oh, all over the place.
We're changing. It's like a time signature. We're changing it constantly.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of sucked about the Marty Friedman thing was that, you know, I was hoping that was gonna evolve into something else, you know. But it just didn't go there. And but it was cool, you know, doing the whole Marty Friedman thing.
Those videos on YouTube are like insane, dude. You guys are playing all the like Dragon's Kiss stuff, like perfectly.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
how was it learning that stuff? I mean, probably.
Yeah, it was weird. The way I got the gig was my manager at the time. He told me that Marty was looking for a guitar player and stuff, and so I recorded. I played my parts, the second guitar parts on, and I sent it to him. I think it was an MP3. It might have been a cassette at the time, but yeah, he dug it and everything, and then set up the tour, and we were off. But and then I got Marty he did a guest solo on this on Incompatible. He played on a song called Acronym. It was kind of cool that he did that.
I didn't even know that.
Mhm.
I remember that. Or
That's a little Easter egg.
Yeah, I thought I knew that.
Yeah, so that was a pretty cool experience with Marty. But yeah, that was all it was. So it didn't evolve into any other writing or anything like that.
Yeah.
So Marty's just all about trying to find like the best guitar players ever just to play with. Like he's got.
Well, the guy that he has right now, Jordan Ziff, he plays like Marty, and they're a really good team.
Yeah,
Interesting.
And then Marty in his band now, he has a girl bass player from Japan. She's just unbelievable.
Yeah,
just unbelievable. And then he's got a drummer. I think his name is Chargy or something like that. But there's something else to watch. His solo band is really, really good.
definitely. I mean, your brother and stuff jamming. I didn't even know. So Ralph, I didn't even know he was like a part of the. I just know, you and Bobby.
He was a part of Tarot.
Yeah, Tarot.
Tarot,
dude.
Yeah. You guys should have sold. See, if it was like 2022 and that came out, you guys should have sold like Tarot cards. And then that'd have been like your like a little, because nowadays you have to think outside the box. Like, what am I gonna people like I got a card that's 2020, no CD player. It's like they don't even include a CD player with a card now. It's like those are extinct technology now. So to to somehow sell something is like you have to find, like, vinyl is the thing. Like it's and with after the pandemic and stuff, like it's all still like so hard to get. It like takes 8 months to order it and get it now. Like if you're gonna do like an order of vinyl, like it's still behind on things.
I wonder if there's a record player that is made for playing it in the car.
Well, check this out. When I was a kid, there was a record store, and they had the record player mounted like on the wall.
Trip.
What the hell?
And they would put the needle, and it would play like it was it wasn't flat.
Well,
and I don't know how that thing did that, but yeah, they did that. It was.
That's another cool art piece to have a war guitar and then a record player playing a record on the next to it.
Yeah, that's like one. I mean, it's almost going to go backwards technology where, remember, like when you had the CD players, like the portable CD players that had like anti-skip. Like, so there's gonna be like the vinyl with anti-skip. It's gonna be like, hey, you can drive in your car or go off road. It'll like the needle will stay there. I don't know, but just like
probably not. The needle's super sensitive. I'm sure it would never work. But I just thought that would be hilarious if you saw a guy like changing his record at a stoplight.
No.
Just get a ticket. Like, I was changing my record, dude.
Fumbling like the sleeves and all that shit, dude. Trying to drink his coffee.
Jesus.
Yeah, we're talking about Blotted Science. If we were to have another CD, and I want to have something else other than just what this what we're kind of talking about. It's something else other than just the recordings,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I'd be able to incorporate like an app into a song or something like that. Now it's the vinyl, something crazy vinyl. There's got to be some other cool things to do with releases, with technology now. There's got to be more. More cool things, comic books or something. There's got to be more cool things to do.
I think the app was a good idea. That's a great idea. The app was that was pretty ahead of its time, because I remember seeing like Jarzombek released an app. Like,
what if you had an app that could like dissect the songs and you can move sections around and reconfigure? Like you could buy an album, upload it to your app, and then you could like cut it up and make your own versions of the album somehow.
Well, the multi-tracking apps that I have right now, you can select different parts, that you want to be played.
Okay.
And but yeah, I was working on some apps that were games too, and I haven't really, kind of focused too much on that because I'm doing this other, tools and composing app that I'm just releasing right now. But yeah, if I could have some games or something like that could create tunes,
Yeah.
you know.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, because I'm a father of 3, I'm like, all
I feel
those
like
apps can help them learn the language,
Hmm.
you know?
I feel like you could score like anything, Ron. Like you could score a movie, like a TV show, a video game, like scored by Ron Jarzombek. I'd be
Score
like,
this
"Oh, shit, here we
episode.
go."
Score
Yeah.
this episode.
It's like Danny Elfman. I'd be like as interested, dude. If it was like scored by Ron Jarzombek, I'd be like, dude.
It's like make a riff about like us talking, like our cadence and our
Yeah.
talking, like one riff of that.
Yeah, well, there was a guy that was doing bird calls. David Bagsby was his name. He was taking bird calls and he was making songs out of them too.
Trip, dude.
Yeah, that's some crazy stuff.
It's crazy the timing of that stuff. You know, what's that German drummer? Jesus, he drummed with. He actually did Necrophagus.
Marco
No,
Miniman.
Marco Miniman.
Yeah.
That one where he takes the samples. And
Yeah, I
just, like,
saw that.
Yeah, starts jamming over, and he's like, "This one's actually pretty crazy. It's in 17/8." You know, it's like we'll figure it out. Like, as all counts it out, and like just cadence of voice and people talking. And that's, I mean, you were obviously doing this a long time ago, but as far as like understanding how much, like, if putting time signatures to conversation, it gets pretty hectic. You know,
Right.
Well, the second Spastic Ink CD, Incompatible, it starts off where we're playing along with that modem. I don't know if y'all know that.
Yeah.
But when you play it first, it's the modem. Then we're playing it. You can sync them up. It's the exact same kind of.
I noticed. I definitely noticed that, and it's it also threw me back to being a teenager trying to get on the internet.
Oh yeah. You had to dial in. Yeah, now the kids hear that. I'm like, what is that?
Right.
You know? That's how we used to have to get on the internet. Yeah.
So to talk about Incompatible a little bit, so let's talk about your decision to add vocals to Spastic Ink, and also there's a lot of the computer references throughout the. We used to crack up. Oh, it's a computer.
Yeah, some people hated that.
Oh, dude, we would love that. I love that.
Loved
dude.
it.
We would laugh at it.
Yeah,
no, I wanted the CD to be based on computers. It was 2K or whatever, and there was so many computer related things, all the backwards masking and all that stuff. And I just figured there was no way for me to to talk about the songs without having lyrics. And so, and I know a lot of people they wanted Spastic Ink to stay instrumental, but just for me to say what I wanted to say on that album, I had to have lyrics.
Yeah.
And Jason came in and did a great job. And you know what? Check it out. One thing that's kind of cool about the vinyl releases of the Spastic Ink, the Incompatible, was I retook that picture, that cover picture that's on there. I dug up. If you look at the CD, the graphic on there, it's real grainy looking and everything.
Right.
And so I dug up the PC board from 2003 or whatever it was, 19 years ago.
Crazy.
And I retook the picture for the vinyl of that. And I remember I was out on my yard, trying to get the sun, to reflect it the same way. And you can hardly tell, but it's totally retaken picture of that PC board with all the ink blots all on it.
Yeah.
Damn. I want to real quick. When I was saying earlier about laughing, I'm not laughing at his vocals. I love the vocals. I was laughing at the samples in that one song.
Oh yeah.
But no, I love instrumental music, and I love vocalists, and I love wide ranges of vocals too. So it was totally natural and worked really well with the album for me. But I mean, for people, it's to each their own type deal. But some of and also the music on Incompatible, there's some really, really wild sections of that album that are almost more wild than Incomplete, in my opinion.
Yeah, that was when everything was kind of falling apart, when because we wrote Incomplete in the mid 90s, and then Incompatible was the early 2000s. By this time, Bobby was in Halford. Bobby joined Halford in 2000, and so he really wasn't. He moved to California pretty soon after that. So yeah, I kind of had to put all of that stuff together myself, but it was cool because that was right when the internet was kicking in, And I remember one of the first guys that was on the net was Jens Johansson, Yngwie's keyboard player. And we were emailing back and forth, and I was like, I couldn't even imagine getting that guy to play on a Spastic Inc. song. And I got him, you know?
It's
It's
funny
like
that
us.
you're
It's like
saying. I was
us.
just
It's like
about to
us.
say.
Yeah. It's like us getting you to play. It's like we were
Oh,
like he's gonna send an email, see what happens. Like, you know, I was like, well, cool, that'd be amazing if it happens, but it's not gonna probably happen. And then, you know, and it happens.
cool. But
It's asking the universe.
no, but yeah, Jens, he played on there, and I couldn't believe I got the guy to play on the album, and he was so cool about it. And you know, some of the other players that are on there, they were great players and everything, but if you read the liners on the vinyl version of that, it was like the core was gone. You know, Bobby and Pete were just doing other things, and I wanted to hang on to the whole Spastic Inc. thing. I had spasticinc.com, you know, and you know, registered and all that kind of stuff, and I just wanted to keep it going. But after having to get all those players and stuff to complete those songs, whoever says Johannes, the album with Holdsworth is crazy.
Jesus,
Some mechanic something. But when Pete took off, you know, he was busy with Riot and Bobby was going with Halford. I was like, I got to do something else. And that was 2004, and then that's when Blotted Science came into play.
Mm-hmm.
How did Bobby hook up with freaking, like, you know,
with Halford?
Halford, I was gonna say Holdsworth again. Halford.
That was actually through my old manager, the guy that got me his name's Swiss Chris. He got me the Marty gig. He put my name in the hat for that, and he put Bobby's name in the hat for Halford.
Yeah.
And at that time, Halford had Pat Blackman, I think his name was, and Mike. I forgot it's a Polak guy like myself. I don't know his last name. But yeah, they had the band intact and everything. And they did lose. Pat quit after one. I was like, God, it would have been so cool if I'd have been playing with Bobby, you know, in Halford. But it just never.
Jesus.
My name was never in the hat for that. But that would have been so cool.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So for you, like, because you're such a, you know, I mean, honestly, it's one of the best. I mean, when people mention their favorite guitar players, the most crazy guitar players, your name is always thrown out there, like with Holdsworth and all the most insane guitar players. Have, like, as far as you said name in the hat and stuff, like, has there been any other projects where it's been like your name's in the hat for something like big and it didn't work out, or like, because it seems like your name should always be in the hat, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it should just stay in the hat.
Just stay in the hat, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think just for me, I've always kind of been running things, you know, Spastic Inc. When, you know, Bobby and Pete were out of the picture, I was like the main guy that was putting it all together. And then with Blotted Science, you know, I was the main guy, you know, putting all the tracks together, production and everything, all the graphics, you know, just doing that. And I was just kind of focused on, you know, doing my own thing, I think. And I probably, you know, should have, you know, tried to get in some other kind of things, but I think I was just so focused on doing all of that kind of stuff like that. Just, you know, being the big dog, you know, that was just in control of everything.
Yeah.
That's what I was
mad
doing.
Scientist.
Yeah, but I think, you know, I should have probably, you know, tried to focus in on getting in other bands. But, you know, the thing about Marty Friedman was, you know, that was probably the biggest, you know, artist that I've been associated with. But I just didn't have a lot of say in hardly anything. And I'm just not used to that.
Not used to it. Yeah.
No, that's not, I like, you know, it kind of sucks, but I like running things. I like being the guy that's, you know, that's calling everything.
I don't think it sucks. I don't think it sucks at all, because I mean, there's so many great brains that have to be at the helm of the ship.
Yeah.
They just have to. It has to be that way. And so yeah, I could see how you would feel. Oh, I'm totally a fish out of water in this situation, because this is how I've been working with music my whole life, and now I got somebody else telling me what to do. It definitely would be.
Well, there was a time when we were doing the Japan thing. You know, Marty's a pretty big, very big celebrity in Japan. He's kicking ass. You know, he's like You know,
And
he's
speak
not
the
just a
language.
guitar player. He's like, yeah, he's a celebrity over there. And I remember they wanted to play this song, and I remember Chris Cotero, the bass player, was saying, he's like, hey, Marty wants to do this song, and I listened to it. It was some rap song or something, a real popular song. I was like, I want to play some fucking rap song.
imagine fucking Jarzombek or Jarzombek. Jarzombek making
Jarzombek, dude.
I think you could probably
that's his beat name.
if you like focus on, like the fucking crazy like weird noises you can make behind like a like just like whatever. Let's get with the popular music now and be like.
Now you just got me thinking of the wordplay thing.
You could. I mean, but you have to have your heart invested into it. But
this one's for Warbreaker. Sorry, I gotta get it out of my head, dude. Bars and beats.
Bars and beats.
Bars and beats, dude. Rapping bars over beats, dude.
No, but I mean that makes a lot of sense though. It's like we had Christian Moonsier, who's with Hannes and Grossman. They're like really good friends and stuff. And Christian also, we were talking about this guy Phil Togus. I can't pronounce his last name, from another prolific musician from Montreal. They were very similar when we like having one interview to the next, and I was like, you guys should be like in a band together. They've done projects together, and they're like, no, we're two captains of the ship, and it's not worth. And he knew it right away. Like he knew that it could fuck with friendship. He knew he's like, I just don't want to be like butting heads with anyone. So as much as it like sounds cool as a fan for me, like to actually get them together to do something, it's going to be two strong personalities of music personalities going like, no, it should be this way. It should be this way. And so I could see how that, you understand.
Well, I could imagine the stuff that me and Marty could have come up with, but it never got to that point at all. It was just, but back to the rap song, it's like, if I didn't want to play it, it's like I had to play the song. Because it's his band and he was making the calls, and luckily we didn't end up playing it.
I was just about to ask you, did you actually have to do it? Oh, okay.
No, but but some of
you have to practice it?
No, it was just something that we listened to, and it just was decided that we weren't going to play it. I was like, thank God.
So, all right. Now I forget where I was going to go. You guys threw me off with the rap shit, and I'm thinking about rap.
Sorry about that.
No, I wanted to take it back to something. It may have been. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we were talking DVDs and tutorials and all that stuff. I do own your brother's DVD. That's a fun one. Those two songs in there, I was really excited. Peppered Cancer.
Oh yeah, in school. Yeah. Is it the other one?
Yes.
Yeah. So I had that shit right when it came out. I was telling everybody about it.
And that literally was like the coolest thing about that DVD for me was like, oh, dude, there's like basically two other Spastic songs on here. It was in the similar Spastic vein, but it was just you and him. There was no bass on those tracks, if I remember right.
Might have been just programming. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, there was like.
Were those like? Oh no, go ahead. Sorry.
No, on my solo CDs, like on Solitarily Speaking, I played bass on that. But I think on that, I might have just did I don't know. I think it was just bass programming.
Were they were they written for that, or were they like some tossed off Spastic material that you didn't make it on the album?
Song we ended up using School, and maybe it was Peppered Cancer. We used it when we did the Japan Incompatible release. They wanted a bonus song, and we didn't have one, and so we ended up taking I think it was Peppered Cancer, but we ended up taking that, and I added some, just changed it up so that would be a little bit more Spastic inky, and we named it a Quick Fix, but we included that on the Japanese version of Incompatible.
Sick. So, I gotta check that out. I
that
didn't
was
even know about that. So that was the vinyl release?
Yeah, it's on the vinyl.
Killer.
But Bobby, I seen some drum instructors or something there. You know how they have all these people, they're playing the video and then they commented on it and stuff. I think Bobby's Peppered Cancer is one of the most popular, or very popular one, where people just take apart and just, all the cymbals in the back of the
dude. I mean, that is very entertaining. I'm not a musician, I can sit down and jam out to like AC/DC, Back in Black or something. But when you sit and watch your brother play and how his technique is something, also we were recently talking about Sean Reinert, but those two guys for me each have their own unique techniques and styles that I don't see in any other player. Like your brother's, the way he kind of hunches over his kit in there, like not really hunches, but like he seems like is he tall? How tall are you guys?
We're about the same height, but one thing that changed with Bobby's playing was that he used to play, hi-hat with his right hand, and then hit the snare with his left like this. And I remember when he started doing this, hi-hat left. Casey, you probably would help me out on this. The advantages of that. But
I think he even talks about it in the video too.
It's open-handed.
Open-handed, yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, when he started doing that, I think it opened up a lot of things for him. But you guys probably haven't heard this story, but when Bobby recorded Incomplete, he was punching himself in with his foot while he was recording the parts.
Wait, what?
This is back in the dark ages, when we recorded on a cassette, master 4-track cassette. Yeah. And I had to go to lessons and stuff, and I couldn't be, I had to teach and stuff. And he was in in the back recording area back there, and I set it up to where he had his hi-hat, where and the punch in was right next to it. So he's playing like this and punching himself in, with his foot.
Wow, dude.
God.
Nowadays you just set the recording when you want to punch in and out on your timeline.
Yeah.
But back then we had to hit a physical, pedal to go in and out, and he was doing that while he was recording those songs.
Yeah, I was going to say just another thing that you'd have to pay attention to through all of what he had to pay attention to playing those songs, dude.
I've seen pictures of Bobby like back in the day with you guys, like with some like sheets printed out.
He's doing that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Casey does that.
Days,
Casey.
He's still reading all that stuff and doing all that kind of thing.
Yeah. Sick.
God. So
and then
I was gonna say your parents, like, so were you raised like music? Were they in like symphonies and stuff? Like, I mean, you guys seem like you're so ahead of like the curve.
Right. No, Dad was a great whistler. That was about it.
Oh yeah, my dad's a good whistler too.
Mom made some pretty good cakes, but nothing nothing with music. Dad's a great builder, worked his ass off. He's still working. He's like 80.
Oh shit, dude.
86. He still works his ass off. Yeah, badass. But no music, nothing really with those two. Dad whistling and playing the radio. That was pretty much all he did.
There's an up and comer
whistling vibrato though. He had that good, that dad whistling vibrato.
Yeah, the Andy Griffith
dad whistling vibrato, dude.
Star Wars and
that
Fairman thing probably could do that too. Who knows? Exactly. But yeah, he's something else.
It's just crazy to hear like Chris Beatty. He was our last episode. Shout out to Christopher Beatty. Did our theme song. Both his parents were really musically inclined, and then he started playing too. But I totally thought I was going to get that same kind of thing from you. Like you were going to end up saying your dad was some, sick jazz guitar player, and your mom.
He worked at a refinery and that's what he did. He built a lot of stuff. That's where I get, I build my own guitars and everything. Of course, Dad taught me a lot of that stuff. That's where I learned from my dad.
It's crazy that our first episode where there's not like a family member or brother or friend or something that got someone into the style of music that they're into, like influencing them huge. Like it's Ron Jarzombek that had nothing, and he's the one that like.
Well, he had his brothers.
Yeah, it was brothers, but I'm saying like, just as far as like, like a basis in music, and then like, we took this, and then we went on to this. It was like my dad's hard worker, my mom makes cakes, and I'm a mad scientist now.
Yeah, Mom made a mean chicken fried steak too.
Oh yeah.
That's what's up. Now we're talking, dude.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's cool.
So, Oh man, I'm losing myself on this fucking episode.
And if
This
y'all
is
are
the
gonna
second
ask,
time,
is
dude.
there if y'all are gonna ask, is there gonna be another Spastic Inc? I thought that might come up. That the chance of that are so low.
Here's the truth, Ron. We start the episode and then I just fucking keep talking, or you keep talking.
Well-
me listening. It's like I don't have any notes in front of me.
I had something to say. So I think it's cool, like you like having your influence to death metal musicians and then coming in with your own thing into death metal. That's like so rare with like so many like shred guitar players that we have like look like to us. You're like, you know, a god of like guitar, you know, like back in the day. And like, I don't know, it's like, it's super cool. Like so like when I heard all this, like, you know, Necrophagus and Spawn of Possession and like bands coming out that are like the most maximum kind of like technical kind of style, I was like, dude, imagine if it had like, you know, Spastic Inc. like drums and like Bobby Jarzombek like crazy, and then Ron like shredding over that, and then here comes Blotted Science, you know. So
yeah,
so it was kind of like,
I saw something that was they printed up of a mixture of bands or something like that worked, and Blotted Science was on there, and I thought that was the coolest thing. You know, that they said, yeah, you know, took this technical guy and, you know, combined it with a death metal guy, and it was a project that did work. It only lasted, you know, for an album and a half, but yeah, we were one of the bands that they said where we took that combination and made it work, and I thought that was pretty cool. You know,
There's something
there's
something about a band in this extreme style of music that can harness the groove, the technicality, and the, you know, catchiness, the listenable aspects of this extreme music, and that really is what Blotted Science was for me, was like the groove aspects of this very technical, crazy music. It like Alex just pulls you right in with he's that underbelly, that just like
backbone.
Yeah, that backbone. I mean, I shouldn't just say Alex too, the rhythm section itself, but like the groove in the rhythm section with such complexity at the same time. That was why I think Blotted Science was so so much of an impact for you guys and me. You guys more because you guys were musicians. Like, that's basically the impact that I got from it, was like, oh, they cracked the code on taking technicality and making it groovy.
Yeah, I like that word groove. I like that a lot. And the song that kind of got me to where, you know, I wanted to have Chris Adler in the whole thing was Laid to Rest, where he did that, you know, the triplet
Lamb of God.
You know, it's a real groovy thing, but he's throwing in some cool things, but the groove is coming first.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's what makes us want to move.
Yeah.
That's what makes us want to dance or bang your head or do whatever. It's the groove, dude.
Yeah, and so that a lot of the songs on Machinations, they were written with Chris Adler in mind, just because I like the guy's groove, but he does throw in some, you know, little crazy things here and there, but the groove comes first. And you know what? The drummer, Jeff Eber, that's on Incompatible, he's playing a couple of songs on there. As crazy as that guy is with Dysrhythmia, when I saw him in Austin, I knew he could play the song when he was grooving.
Yeah.
As crazy as that sound, he's unbelievable with time signatures and everything. But he was just doing some crazy shit and just grooving. It was just grooving. Because when we were looking for, or when I was looking for a drummer for Incompatible, I had some guys sending me some crazy kind of, you know, quintuplets and stuff like that. It just was not grooving. You know, it just wasn't there. And then I heard a technical guy grooving, and that's who needs to be playing these songs.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's Jeff Eber. That was from Dysrhythmia. And Bobby's the same way too. Bobby grooves like a mofo.
Oh Jesus!
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah.
I mean yeah, that like Spastic was like the prog groove for me, and then Blotted Science is the tech death groove band. You know.
Yeah, Charlie. You know, when Charlie came into to Blotted Science on the song EEG Tracings, I remember he was doing the solo section, and I told him, dude, just do some flipping 3/4, 5/4, something like that. And anyways, on the solo section, he did his own thing, and I wrote my solo based on his drum part. And he was just coasting along. I was like, dude, this is so cool. But the solo on that song, it just varies and does some weird swaying kind of things. And Charlie was the one. He probably should get credit for setting up my solo that I did on that song. But yeah, if you look up EEG tracings on it, listen to the solo section with all this cool stuff that Charlie's doing on that.
All right.
And,
hell yeah.
Yeah, he did a great. Yeah, and the thing with Charlie is, somebody might say, why wasn't he on the second CD? And the reason he's not on the second CD is because he was just too versatile.
Mm-hmm.
He was, when we were trying to, work out parts and stuff and everything, I had to listen to death metal stuff, and he was probably checking it out too, and he was just playing so many different things. In Blotted Science, we needed a real, just kind of based in death metal, that kind of a background and stuff. And Charlie had a little bit of that, but yeah, he did a great job on Machinations though. But for animation, we just kind of thought that we should go in a different direction. But yeah, Charlie did an amazing job on Machinations.
I definitely have a question about. I mean, it's in the chat, so it's something I don't know. But this question about you did a.
Oh, I love that song.
I don't even know about this.
Terrestrial Exile.
Yeah,
that was an adventure. That would happen when Watchtower toured. I don't know if it was the Kit Festival or Bang Your Head or one of those, but we're hanging out with Chris, and Hannes was there. And we just wanted to do a song, and so we wrote it. Me and Chris wrote a song. Well, actually, Hannes wrote the intro for that song too, and we just wanted to put a song together, and so we did, and we had to call it something. We just couldn't say the song by these four dudes. Pete played on it too, and we just called it Terrestrial Exiled, and that was a cool thing to do. But that's all it was. It was one song. And it was a pretty cool song. I thought it was a little bit over the top, actually. And
I could see Christian, like, because we've had him on the podcast too, and you're definitely an influence, a huge influence on him. Like, I could see him going like, all right, I got to go fucking huge for like with Ron here. I got to go like next level because it's Ron.
Well, we did some trade-offs on that thing, and it was really cool because you could totally tell who was who.
Yeah.
Not just our sounds, but just our playing and everything. And I thought that was really cool that we kind of complemented each other pretty good on that song. But yeah, that's all it was, one song, and then we were out. That was the end of it.
Damn. So the band's called Terrestrial Exile, and you can look it up.
Exile. Actually, the working title for that was Alien Planet.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just kind of made it a little bit more fancy sounding with Terrestrial Exile.
Yeah. Definitely, it's a little more interesting. But actually, one of our good friends in here has a question about control and resistance. So,
shout out David Siskin.
David Siskin. What's your the musically and lyrically, like, what was the whole genre? I don't know. I say genre too much, but like, what was the whole feel of just genre? Is like my easy genre, like just say it out as like a generalization. But what was like the influence for that?
For Control and Resistance?
Yeah.
Well, we had always said it was a mixture of Rush and Metallica.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The Watchtower guys have never listened to anything really heavier than Metallica. I mean, Doug and Rick, they don't even like Pantera and stuff like that.
True.
But yeah, Control and Resistance was very Rush heavy. The song Fall of Reason, that was real Rush heavy, all those chords that Billy put together for that. And yeah, Rush meets Metallica is what we used to always say. The first album was more thrashy, but there was so many different time signature changes and stuff like that on Control, versus Energetic. Right. Energetic was a badass album, but there's a lot of the songs on that are all 4/4.
Yeah, I actually, my uncle is into the older hard rock and metal and shit, and I showed him energetic disassembly, and he was fucking rocking out, dude. But then you can just tell. Then you can just tell, like, all of a sudden now he's been brought into a different dimension with Control and Resistance, and it doesn't compute. You know, like the software isn't there.
Yeah, they're very different albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, the energetic is so much more thrashy than Control. But yeah, I dig both albums, man.
Oh, totally, dude. I dig both of them too. And we were talking groove. There's a lot of groove on energetic, and there's a lot of groove in Control and Resistance too. But
yeah, Rick's playing on both albums is just unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I've heard some like mythological things about you, and one of them was, this is like an old thing I know, it's just, we talk about you, dude, we're nerds, we've been all about you for like 20-30 years, but about taking like the one myth was, I don't know if it's a myth, that's what I'm asking, taking a song or a score or something, like let's say like doing the Bambi thing, and then taking it and then flipping it backwards, and then doing yeah, that's one thing I heard that you did. I never actually got confirmation on that, and then writing like riffs upon that backwards.
Yeah, on Blotted Science, the adenosine buildup and then adenosine breakdown, those two songs are backwards.
Jeez.
Yeah, if you play one of them, they're the exact same time length, but if you take the right channel of one song and put it backwards on the other song, listen to it on headphones, it's the same thing. This side's backwards and this is forwards. And if you do that the other way too, it'll be, but those two songs are backwards and forwards.
Dude, I love it.
Yeah, because the concept with that is that there's some, the I think that's how you pronounce it. Something builds up in your head, and then when you go to sleep, then it's released or something like that. I don't remember it.
True.
But that's how it, it's a backwards forwards process, and so that's what we did with the song. Oh, that's a great question. Was it written for, which one was written first? I think I wrote both tunes kind of at the same time and made sure that they sounded cool backwards.
Trip.
So what's your process of taking a song? Are you just writing the music out and then flipping it, or are you using a computer program to do that so it's easier? Like, how do you?
I think probably back then computers were around, and I could just kind of hit the reverse and hear what it sounded. But if it was way back when with cassettes, I'd have to take a 4-track tape, record it and then flip it, and then it would be backwards.
God,
wow.
Yeah,
that's still so ahead of its time, and people are going to start doing that. I feel like it's going to be like a normal thing soon, but like hearing that story,
now it's so easy to do now.
It's so easy.
You go on the menu and hit it reverse, but back then it was cassette tapes, and you could only do that on a multi-track cassette too. You couldn't do it on a regular cassette tape. But yeah, that stuff was so much fun when I did my first the CD. I can't do it anymore.
Is that how it's pronounced?
That kind of hurt a little bit.
I know, dude. I actually try it all the time whenever I'm listening to it. I like try it at least once, and then it feels weird, like my lips.
Yeah, it kind of fizzes a little bit.
To the people that don't know, it's like P P P F F T T.
Yeah.
PHHHP. But yeah, basically anybody trying to mimic an elephant noise. That's the name of that album.
Yeah, but back then, I did some backward stuff. Even on Control and Resistance, when we did that was in the 90s or 89. Yeah, 89, 90. We had to take the tape on the song Life Cycles. There's some backwards things on there. And, I'm doing the harmonies on the left and right channel, and then the backwards one is in the middle. And we had to flip the tape back then because we didn't have a computer to do that with, in 89. And that was pretty cool. And I remember, we would just, we flipped the tape over and then we sent it back, to the other machine. And it was just like at random. We'd leave a little space there. And then I was going to, then I would record the left and right thing. And I remember I would they ran off a 2-track on a cassette, and then I would take it, in the rooms during the night, and then I would, write the harmony parts to it, and then I would record it the next day. But man, we just flew that backwards stuff in, and
that's such a
how
good
I
idea.
did the life cycle solo. If you check it out on Control,
Damn.
that's how we did that one. That was a lot of fun.
How'd you guys party? Did you guys do any weed or anything like that? While this was going down?
That was in Berlin, and there was a place across the street where we had lasagna and stuff, and I forgot who did it, but somebody put weed in some brownies or something.
Yeah.
And I remember Rick ate them, and he was like just dozing for a while. I don't know who did that, but yeah, I remember that. But no, we were good. We did our work and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had a job to do,
Right.
But
it just sounds like that those ideas and all that stuff just for us it would be like us really high at Casey's house or something, like, dude, if we flip this over and fucking,
Well,
just
I heard
a couple of stoners.
I heard the Beatles with John Lennon, they would take the master 2-track tape, and they would cut out little windows in the tape, and then they would put them in different places and stuff, and the tracks would run, the 8 tracks would run like this, and the different audio would appear because they took it in a different place. Now if you did that with computers, you would just take, the little bit of the file and put it over here.
Yeah, it's all.
But back then it was so primitive, but that's what they
where they're literally cutting things with razor blades and
yeah.
I mean, to elaborate on all that stuff, like what David actually has, pretty funny question, but I feel like it's kind of warranted.
Well, it's kind of a Frank Zappa question too.
Yeah, it's like, so
no.
I mean, no, nothing, because it seems like you're like no. So basically, the question for the listeners is all no acid ever, no like psychedelics. It seems like that you're had such psychedelic, trippy ideas of what you were doing that
it works with a psychedelic brain, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, my extent of drug use. This is it, and I'm not kidding or anything. Mm-hmm. When I was in high school, a little bit of peer pressure, I smoked pot for about a month.
And then after that month,
were you watching Bugs Bunny at the time, though, at least, or something?
Probably.
Probably.
That's my extent that I've had with drugs. Now, when I gig with my Rush tribute band, I have quite a bit of Goldschlager shots, but
there you go.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Yeah, the reason I stopped smoking weed, because I would be in my first class at school. I'd smoke pot with these 2 guys, and on the way to school, and I'd be sitting there in class like this, I'd be dozing off, all dopey-eyed and shit. And I had these redneck guys I went to school. They were cool, but they would come up in front of me and they would go,
oh, they start fucking with
like that, and I would be going like this, and I just got tired of it.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to be known as the pot guy,
right?
Yep.
And I just didn't dig it. And I would come home, and my blue sweater thing that I used to wear would smell like weed, and I bet my mom knew I was smoking pot, and I just didn't dig it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. I would be known as the pothead in the high school, and so that's it.
Yeah.
And you I mean, your vice is the music, dude. Like that's the true drug for you, is the playing and the writing.
Well, the drug for me is it came around with YYZ from Rush when they did the Morse code, and that was such a big impact on me, just taking numbers and lines and making notes out of that kind of stuff. That was just huge.
Right.
The fact that you can do that. Then we started, Watchtower started using phone numbers to write songs, and
so that's all still there, and that's with you currently today, and that's fucking killer, dude. Like I love hearing that so much right now.
Totally.
It like literally there's only a few things, or there's probably more than that, but I'm just saying there's like these main things that have stuck with you throughout your whole career so far. Like,
it's just Bugs Bunny and patterns, and that's kind of what just drives me, and I like playing around with notes. That's just kind of what I like doing. But no drugs, Goldschlager, and
again, the mad scientist thing that Joel was saying, like that is you in the lab, just like fucking with shit and just fucking let's see what happens when I put this shit together. That's
That's
dude,
like Frank Zappa, dude. You know, it's like, you know.
Oh, Frank Zappa is out of that's kind of going overboard. Frank,
but
Zappa,
you know, he was a coffee and cigarettes guy. He no drinking, no drugs. If you were in his band and you were caught doing drugs, he'd fire you.
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess Steve I didn't do any drugs when he was with Zappa.
No.
You hit it pretty well if he did.
Yeah.
You know, but that like Zappa's the dude that would be in his basement for 16 hours a day, you know, not seeing his kids for months and stuff. And that's why he has how many records he put out before he died? Over 80.
Wow. Shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
it's
dude.
Only second place to Buckethead, though.
Yeah, Buckethead.
Buckethead is fucking insane. What is he, over 500?
I think it's like 400 and something albums now.
Well, he had some series called Pike or something.
Yeah.
I had a student that was a real big Buck, and he said he would come out with an album every week.
Yeah. No, it was for like years. He'd have like probably 30 albums a year or something like that. Like just dropping constantly. You know, it's crazy.
Jeez.
Well, that
you know, I've been releasing some digital singles. I did We Have Controlled the Federation. I did a couple of covers, the Ink Panther. She Blotted Me with Science. And I'm just
Blotted Me with Science. Dude.
I was listening to all of them this week.
Yeah.
So
and the reason I'm releasing those is because I take too long. You know, I'm too picky with stuff, and I just wanted to get a couple of tunes out there so people know that I'm still doing shit. You know,
right on. Yeah, and we were very excited when every time they came out, dude. Because you know, but that's the thing is like with a guy like you, I will patiently wait. I already probably mentioned it in the show. I will patiently wait for anything you want. You can have all the time in the world just as long as I get a little Jarzombek every now and then, dude. You know? Awesome. Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping. I think next for me would be the solo CD, and it's probably picking up where Solitarily Speaking left off. I don't know. Might have to do another Blotted Science. I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
You know,
you just might have to.
You got
waiting.
3 gigantic votes right now, and everybody in the chat is probably like, yes.
If you need a drummer, dude, you know, I'll do it for free.
Hey, we were talking about before. Did we have any kind of contact with?
I think we were
talking together. What was that?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we were talking way back. Yeah.
You ended up talking. You guys ended up going back and forth because of. You know, the solo. I think you were the one who was sending him all the was it Power Tab or Guitar Pro?
Well,
it was Power Tab at the time.
Ron, I'd like to show you this new project we did. Like, there's like a lot of beats in it that like I just finished this project up in Oakland. These guys recorded. It's actually the same engineer who did Cryptic like 12 years, past back. But it's like prog rock stuff. It's all clean singing and stuff. It's All Realm is her new project.
Singing, you can't have that.
I know. I'm not allowed to.
But I'm not in the band.
No. What I'm saying, what I'm saying is all the like. There's like a lot of like influence for sure of Spastic Inc. for me. Like,
really, that's badass.
And the drums. So yeah, man, I'm a big fan.
You're gonna send it my way so I can check it out?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're getting constant like updates from the studio, like the mixings and stuff like that. So it's coming.
Good.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, this whole app thing, the app that I have, you know, just coming out this week, it's been pretty it's been my focus for a while. You know,
how do people get a hold of it, by the way? I would like to promote it. How do people get a hold of your app when it comes out? How can they find it?
It's called Abstract Clock Tracks.
Okay.
Kind of a crazy title. But yeah, I've submitted it to both the App Store and to Google. And I think it's on the App Store right now, but I don't know when Google's going to have it up. Yeah, it's out there. As soon as it's on Google, I'm going to release the tutorial and everything. Because right now I'm not saying too much about it because oh yeah, that's good right there. Did you just do that right now?
Yeah, I had to. I just typed it.
Yeah, it's actually Clock Tracks is 2 words, so it's ACT.
Shit.
But that was quick, dude. That was quick.
That's right.
But yeah, so the acronym for it is ACT, and this is the first one. So if it's a happening thing, I'll do Act 1 and then Act 2.
I fucking
Nice.
love all that, dude. The wordplay that we keep talking about. Like, I want to know, like, did you write poetry or
No,
is
the
it?
only lyrics I've ever done is for Incompatible.
Mm-hmm.
But I like, I like playing around with words and everything like that. But that's really the only real lyrics though that I wrote was.
Did you take that same mentality into the lyrics itself too? Is that like if people read the lyrics, are they
Yeah, there's
going
some crazy stuff on there. The song Just a Little Bit. God, it's a little.
That's a great song, dude.
Well, did you check out the backwards message on multi-masking?
Fuck. I
If
mean,
you check it out, yeah, you got to play it. It
We're
sounds so
going to.
scary, but I'm saying some funny shit.
all
But
right.
it's talking about what the verses are talking about, but it's talking about the peripherals on, I think that's how you say it, on a computer, printers and hard drives and stuff like that. But the song Just a Little Bit has to do with ones and zeros, and everything in the lyrics has to do with yes and no, just opposites and
The
stuff like that.
dualities of
Yeah, it's a lot of plays on words and stuff like that. It's not like, Neil Peart where it's real, intellectual and shit. It's just crazy.
right.
This means yes. There's one reference to the band Yes. There's a reference to the song The Ripper by Judas Priest. Just
Killer,
crazy,
dude.
stupid
Great
stuff
song.
like that.
But I love those types of Easter eggs, though. Like I
Yeah,
hide those in my lyrics as well. Just having things that
Ron's
even
like,
you
I
could
can't
just do for
understand it.
yourself.
Like, I can't understand it because you're fucking growling the whole time. You son of a
Right.
bitch.
I know. I try and enunciate
kidding.
as much as I can. So if you are a seasoned ear to that noise of voice, then maybe you can decipher the words.
I love. I mean,
Yeah.
that's like kind of like part of the prog nerd shit that I love. It's like such a prog guy that I love, like finding out that a riff that a band did in the like track 2, they hint at it in track at the very end of the album or something like that, and it's kind of like it just brings continuity to it, and you're like, oh, when you find it's like putting it together, and that like only a certain small number of people have put it together. It just feels like a deeper connection to a prog band.
Yeah.
Where you're like, it's like I found this, like, oh, they're doing this, they're hinting at this from this other album, like, or they're like showing something from like a previous like 2 albums ago. They're like playing something to kind of hint at it or something again to kind of bring it back a little bit, and then like that's such the prog nerdery that I'm all about. That's like what I love.
Yeah, if Blotted Science does another CD, I want to have a CD that's not just like a bunch of individual songs. I want some crazy stuff like that. Of course, I'm talking about 2112 and stuff like that.
Yep.
But just where you have this one tune and in this one song, and then it appears in this form in this other song, just so it's a whole combined collection.
Yeah,
like
it all folds in on each other.
Yeah, the song "A Sting Operation" on the animation, the Blotted Science EP, that song has 21 different themes that are scattered around on that whole 9-minute piece, but they're played in different forms and everything like that. It's a pretty cool thing. It's one of the things I talked about. I wanted to put out either in the book or, there's so many things like that I want to get out there. I just got to figure out the right outlet. But if Blotted Science does another CD, that's what I want the CD to be. I don't want just like little songs. A 3-minute song is 6 minutes. I want it all to be, just some other. I don't want to say the word concept because that scares some people off. But
so if Spastic started as an instrumental project and then you got a vocalist on the second album, maybe Blotted Science needs a vocalist for the next album, and maybe
well, here's
Muddy
the
Waters.
thing. On the 4 songs that I wrote for the third Blotted Science CD, I didn't want to have singing, whether it was clean, but I wanted to have a voice. I guess kind of like the beginning of multi-masking. Singing comes in later, but I wanted to have some kind of voice come on and do some kind of stuff. But again, I don't know if that's what Blotted Science fans would want.
Just one growl. Give me one growl. That's it.
Just
Just a little like
a guest growl. It was like
quick little.
that's like yeah. Me and our friend Dan Kenny always jokes about like, hey, can I do a guest pinch harmonic
Pinch
on your album?
harmonic. Yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like one
that'd
like
be cool.
that's just like it. That's like yeah. That
You
was,
have to write him up in
that
like
was
the the
yeah.
album.
Put him in the pamphlet. Just like yeah, he squealed right here. But yeah,
But yeah, after I get this the solo CD, I'm probably gonna have to call Webster and say, hey, is this something we might want to do?
I know
Because it would be, I get along great with Alex every way, musically and personally, we get along great. So I don't know.
I think there's a mass amount of people in the underground that would be very happy if that were to happen again, dude. And now that it's been marinating in the zeitgeist for as long as it has, like it things are catching up now, like talking to Paul recently, Masvidal, about Cynic and how it took a decade or plus for Cynic to finally be a band that would be like have the people ready for them, so
were
now
they touring with Meshuggah for a while?
They did when they on their first couple of runs that they did when they reunited and did all that. It was Meshuggah.
Yeah, you know what, back then when that was happening, Watchtower was, I forgot what year that was, but Watchtower was kind of talking, and I'm like, is this something that Watchtower could do?
Yeah,
and
probably could. Yeah,
we just kind of talked about it, and
that EP is dope, dude. I really like that EP that you guys finally came back and.
Yeah, the EP for me, it's kind of a, some people were talking about, we released it. They're talking about, we won the Super Bowl or something. I mean, I think it's good material, but the bottom line with that album is that it's supposed to say mathematics. It's not supposed to say book concepts or whatever it is. What is it? I don't even know the name of it. But, it's supposed to be 11 songs. It's supposed to be mathematics. And whenever it's called Concepts of Math. Whenever I see that album, it's one thing that's kind of ridiculous about that EP is that there's only 5 songs on there. There's an overture on there, and the overture has some tunes in it that are in other songs that aren't even released yet. An overture is supposed to be, like you're taking, like 2112 again, you're taking little bits from other songs that appear in this bigger piece.
Right.
And on that Math Concepts thing, we have the overture on there. And there's other tunes that there's no reference for them or anything. And then there's also the last song on the Mathematics is supposed to be called Summarization. There's supposed to be 11 songs on it, and every letter, for the first letter of each song title, it spells out mathematics. The last one is Summarization. What is it? M Theory, Overture. There's The Size of Matter is one of the T's. But it's like, so we released the first, second, third, sixth, and ninth song or something like that. But there's still 6 songs that are supposed to be on a full album called Mathematics. And whenever I see that album, I'm just like,
you cringe we didn't win no
Super Bowl. It's like we squeaked into the playoffs and won 1 game. We didn't. It's that album. It's just it should be a complete album. And when I think about it, I just kind of get pissed off sometimes. All the time that we spent on that album.
Now hearing that story, I understand why you would be pissed off at that too. But just step outside yourself just for a second and sit in my seat and say, we got a new Watchtower release, So that was my excitement about it. Like, oh shit, fucking Watchtower is about to put some new shit out, and I pre-ordered that. I got it. I got the physical copy, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't know that whole story behind it. Now
and then if it would come around to where we would finish recording those other 6 songs, it's like, what are we supposed to do now? Are we supposed to release another EP, you know, and then people are going to get pissed off because they already bought the first one. And if we release the whole 11 song full CD album, you know, then they're going to say, I already bought 5 of these, you know, should I get a discount? And, you know, it's like
I would have still bought it.
Release something that's incomplete, not incomplete, you know, like the cool CD stuff. Not like that.
I'm going to play on that.
But yeah, we released something that it shouldn't have been released, but the overture should not have been on there. But it's a cool song.
Yeah.
You know, but one of these days, if we do finish the songs, which probably is not going to happen just because of, you know, everybody's doing different things right now. But yeah, Mathematics, man, it's like that album was, you know, what's funny about it is Guns N' Roses, they released an album called Chinese Democracy or something like that. And there was talk and stuff like in magazines about, you know, why are they taking so long? Why are they taking so long? And then, you know, I was saying, is Watchtower going to get Mathematics done? Or is Guns N' Roses going to release the Chinese? And it's like they released that 15 years ago. You know?
Yeah.
It's just sad. It's just so freaking sad.
Well, I mean, you guys could still do it as a second EP and then maybe do like a release where you mix it all together.
Yeah,
like,
where we combine it like you know, a best of or something like that. But yeah, it would be cool if we got those other songs done. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think a Blotted Science CD is way more possible.
All right. I like that.
Those other Watchtower. But you never know. Who knows?
You've mentioned it like 4 or 5 times now, so I'm getting excited now.
I know. I knew it was going to come up. I knew it was going to come up, so I've been kind of thinking, how am I going to answer this?
Yeah. This death metal show, of course, they're going to talk about Blotted. But actually, I mean, we've already mentioned it, but it was Spastic first, dude. And Spastic will always I'll always have a deep connection and place in my heart for that band, dude. Those 2 records I've listened to so many times. Dude.
It's still so ahead of its time, and it was recorded in the 90s. It's ahead of its time still. I think it's like still like
that's what I'm saying.
Coming out, yeah. It's like how many years later? Like I feel like it's still above so many of these instrumental, not incomplete or Incompatible wasn't instrumental, but these bands that are coming out that are all instrumental now. You know, like Polyphia. I mean, Animals Leader's great, but like, you know, it's but this was still like. Still, the ideas in Spastic Inc. were so alien, you know, like to the time that it still holds water today, like easy, you know.
Yeah, I think that.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think that now, just to reiterate, is that I think that it's time for people to get some more Jarzombek so they can go back to all that and be like, holy shit, dude, everybody's freaking out on all these guitar players now, but look what was really going on 20, 30 years ago, you know?
Yeah, I'm an old fart. I know.
Hey, Ron, do you say Jarzombek or Jarzombek?
I know. Jarzombek. Yeah.
Yeah.
You say Zom? Oh, you got it. Okay. I thought usually Anthony's wrong in his pronunciations, but I think
you weren't here yet, bro. I checked with him before the show. I've been trying my hardest every time I say it to say it like that.
Hey, you know what? We were talking about adding vocals on instrumental. I wonder, like, if Animals as Leaders came out with their next album and they had vocals, can you imagine that? How many people they would probably piss off?
They'll probably do it one of these days. You know,
think
like
so?
Like maybe like album 7. Like they're like, fuck it, let's just do something like that. I could see them.
It would be interesting, but I wonder how their fans would think about that.
I mean, a trippy thing with them was like, you know, not to reiterate, like, you know, we toured with them back in the day when they were a brand new band and stuff like that. And Steve Vai, like, you know, Steve Vai, I think of in the same class as like Jarzombek, Steve Vai, you know, like all the shredders was there. Like, I'm gonna check this out. I'm gonna check this band out in Hollywood. He showed up there and was like, and that's where they exploded when Steve Vai like got a hold of him. There was like, this, you know, so like one instrumental band to another. Like, I feel like it would be definitely a curveball that might, depending on the vocalist, you know, like there's bands like Periphery and stuff where the vocals to me are a little too busy over the busy music. So it's kind of like there's a lot going on musically, and then the vocals come in and try to like battle it, and it just turns into like this big fight. This big fight. Where I mean, it's got to like work though. You know, I could see them doing like, because now like they're humongous now, so I could see them getting in touch with whoever they want to get in touch with and be like, hey, do you want to do like Bruce Dickinson on a.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of vocals would work over animals as leaders. You ever think about that?
No, I mean maybe like, for my brain it would be like I don't know, like Spiral Architect or I don't know. I have no idea like what would work over that. Like,
let's tell Anthony to call it Tosin.
oh yeah, no, I can let's make it happen. let's get him on right now. Anthony, call him. Anthony. So dial 1-800 Tosin.
Say ask Tosin, you want to get some vocals? That's what he would probably say. No.
Yeah, I don't know what would work over that because it's so instrument driven. It's really he'd leave a lot more space for vocals. I feel like it's so a lot of the voices with the guitar, like it's singing with guitar is what that band is. Yeah. And same with Spastic and stuff. That would be like, like Incomplete and stuff. Like there is room for vocals on it on Incomplete.
Well, we could have changed the songs around, but the way they were recorded and everything, if you try to put vocals on that, the way the songs were, written and recorded for that, that would have been too messy. I think it would have been too much.
Yeah, it gets to a certain point where like, a prog band, they're already like an instrumental prog band, so they're already speaking vocals with their instrument, and like then you add vocals on top of the speaking vocals, and it just gets like Matty way, like the most. So Ron Jarzombek, that's Jarzombek. That is the most like gurgly like vocals. He sounds like a like, I don't know how to explain Matty way, but it's like basically
Chris
like
Barnes,
the most,
maybe.
Yeah. It's like a more like
Barnes.
eccentric
It's the
version
most
of that,
guttural voice in our shit,
which would be hilarious to hear over.
Yeah, I know it. Remember on Beavis and Butt-Head when they had that episode, and that they were listening to some tune, and then the vocals come in, or like and then Beavis goes, "Was that a bear? Did you see that?"
I think that was that Morbid Angel one.
Yeah. That was actually a way that we as youngins got introduced to the extreme stuff too, as Beavis and Butt-Head.
Yeah. I used to watch that every night before I'd crash. I listened to watch Beavis and Butt-Head. That was
Me
so
too.
long ago.
It was amazing. I mean, it still like holds water. Like my dad used to put it on. Like, all right, this is like stupid, but it's funny, so you can watch it too.
Aren't they gonna like reboot it? Aren't they gonna be?
Oh, they just made a movie, which actually Casey just saw. I was
so
going
it's
to
out.
watch it too.
Oh shit!
It's on Paramount, whatever the new streaming used to be, CBS.
Please tell me they're like in their 40s and 50s.
No, they're not. It's like a.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But they're gonna do like they start with the movie and then they're gonna do more like shows now. They're gonna like.
I thought that they would be like current day Beavis and Butt-Head.
But the reboot that they did do like about 6 or 7 years ago was fucking hilarious. Where they were making fun of all the reality TV stuff and watching like Jersey Shore instead of music videos and just like making fun of the people on Jersey Shore. And like the one episode that still is actually maybe my favorite one was like all the vampire movies, like like Twilight. The vampires get chicks, so they wanted to get chicks, so they needed to get bit by some sort of a vampire, so they found a bum in the alleyway to bite them, and they got like hepatitis.
Didn't Dracula always have chicks though? He was always kind of like a ladies' man in all the
that's what they're going off of. They were like, we need to get bit, dude, to get chicks. Like now we need to get bit by like a vampire or something to get chicks.
My favorite Beavis and Butt-Head episode was that one time when they were carrying around this like trash can or something, or some barrel or something, and they tapped into the sewer line, and they were carrying around a bunch of shit, and they were trying to they took it door to door, and they were telling people that it was oil.
They thought they struck oil, but they were just carrying people's shit around, dude. That's hilarious, dude.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Yeah, the 90s are the shit, guys. If you're young watching this, go back to the 90s. There's some cool shit that happened in those years, dude.
An Easter egg too is my dad went to Highland High School in New Mexico, where Mike Judge went. So it's all based off teachers, with like the gym coach, the pissed off gym coach, and the lesbian seagull guy. They're all teachers that he based it off of. That my dad probably was there 7-8 years before him, but it's all based off Highland High School in Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's all based off like things he saw there, or like a funny like guy, like the principal going like, it's all based off like things that he saw at that high school. And then it's like it's all based off that. So it's
Wow.
Or the
Still there.
neighbor with the camper. You're
Yeah,
jerking off in my camper.
like, I mean, King of the Hill is all Albuquerque based too. It's like, it's just a kind of a weird situation out there. So that's an interesting states. We'll just say that.
Yeah, those South Park guys are pretty big Rush fans, from what I.
Yep.
Yeah,
Primus and Rush, and yeah, definitely. No.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do right there.
Yeah, we actually, me and Casey just saw Les Claypool just jam out it's called like the Bastard Jazz, Les Claypool's Bastard Jazz.
It was so
It's
sick.
like, yeah, it's like him. It's like Les Claypool and Skerrick. He's that crazy saxophone player, and the who's the drummer? I have no idea who the drummer. He was some semi-famous guy, but they just went up there. It was the first show, and they basically got together and just improvised, and it was awesome. It was super.
Well, I know
fun.
they did that Farewell to Kings or
yeah, I saw that too.
Tribute to Kings tour.
Yep.
Where they
That
played
was
a
great.
Farewell to Kings. I might be still doing that.
It was the first set was like Primus hits and stuff like that. Then the intermission. Then it was Farewell to Kings. It was awesome.
Oh, wow.
It was great. Yeah.
Hmm.
And they got the Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson blessing. They were like, fuck yeah, dude. It's like one of the most influential things for both those guys. But yeah, that was amazing to see. But
wow, I just saw some clips of it, but yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think Les was going to be singing the Geddy's range.
Yeah, it was interesting. Definitely.
Did he give it in the Claypool voice? Like,
no, it was just lower, felt like a lower octave.
Oh, okay.
I know.
I'm just hearing like Jerry was a race car driver.
Yeah, I know.
He just like talks like, hey, I was taking it down.
My name's Tom Sawyer.
No, I couldn't imagine Xanadu being sung with that Jerry race car driver voice.
Right? Yeah.
Anyways, but
all right, I got one actually final funny story that I've been messaged 4 times today to tell you. So when we hung out in San Antonio, it was on that tour. There's 2 stories of this. One was, the guitar player of the Faceless was like, "Don't make sure that he doesn't watch me. I don't want him to watch me. I'm gonna be like super nervous." So I was like, I went up to you and I was like, "Hey Ron, go up to him, like walk up to him and just like cross your arms and then shake your head no and then walk away."
Are you talking about Michael Keane?
Michael Keane, yeah. And I was like, and you didn't. You were like, "Oh, it's kind of fucked up. I'm not gonna do that." And I'm like, "Yeah, it would be so funny." No, you didn't do it. It was kind of a messed up request.
Oh man! Hey, didn't y'all play that gig? The bass player was out or something.
Oh God!
What I remember, there was no bass player or something at that White Rabbit gig when Faceless played.
Oh man, I have no idea. Was
BG playing in the band?
No,
Brandon?
it was I think it was another guy. Jesus, he's gonna kill me if he's all right. Anyways,
yeah, I remember that gig, and I don't know if I actually talked to Michael or not.
Yeah. He found out you were there, and he was like, just make sure he doesn't watch me. Like he was like so freaked. He was so freaked out that you were there that his anxiety was like over the moon. And I was like, dude, I was like, hey Ron, go up to him.
Yeah, I should have did
nope.
that. Oh well.
But another funny part of that story, which is my basically first friend ever, my friend Derek, he's the singer of the Faceless, and he was there, and you were there saying your goodbyes, and we were shaking hands, and it just worked where he put his hand out right as you turned your head, and and so you walked right by his hand like this. Like he was like giving him the shake, and then I know, but he was just all dissed by the jars.
Oh, dude, I didn't know that.
No, I know. It was a funny thing because it was just I looked at it when it happened. It was like a funny thing where your head just churned and his hand went out, and he's like, but it was like no, don't feel bad. It's a funny. We laughed about it because it was just.
Well, I'll give him a hug if I see him next time. That's something to make up for it.
There you go.
Oh, not cool.
No. He wasn't. It wasn't like I was right there. It was just like a head turn at the wrong time, and it was.
Well.
But he like took it and made like he's all dissed by the jars, and we laughed so hard. The way he said it though was like the delivery was like a comedian like delivering a funny line. We laughed. But no, we definitely weren't like Jars is an asshole. No, you basically just missed it.
Oh.
It wasn't anything like that. But I thought it was. Sorry, I thought that story would go funnier. But
I didn't. When you started it, I was like, "This is not gonna." Wait, we have a live bagging. That's our theme music for when somebody orders a shirt and they get it bagged in the package on the show. That's what you were just hearing. All right. I guess we're
That's fine.
Hey, I want the palm trees on my picture.
Yeah.
Put the palm
switch
trees
it over.
back up.
There you
Okay,
go.
now I'm good. Now I'm good. Hey, well, guys, yeah, thanks for asking me to come on and
thank you very much for coming on. It's
we
like
had
you've been a
couple of
humongous influence.
Was it a couple of months that we?
Yeah, I've been. Yeah, I think it was a couple of months that we've been talking about it and stuff. But yeah, dude, this is the thing. It's like we found a date and everybody was able to link up, and this is more than anything we could have asked of.
Awesome.
I had a great time tonight, dude. We got some tidbits that I think that could be exclusive to the show. I don't know if and we got a new Odious has got a new album out. Maybe we got a spot on there for
maybe so.
Yeah.
Remember the first thing that Ron said at the show, he's like, so you guys are gonna tour this? Like, what? This is like, I did all this work on this, and like, it wasn't like that, but it was like, you guys got to play that music live. Like, what are you guys doing? Like,
we did.
We
didn't do full scale after it was released. We unfortunately we did the full scale before it was released.
Yeah, it's hard. Yep. It's hard to tour stuff.
Yeah,
it is.
But it's all good. Hey, it's all about making the music with you guys, right? That's all it is first. And I'm sure that's how Ron would look at it too. It's like first we make music and we fall in love with the music together. Then
that's why we do it, man. That's why we do it.
Exactly.
Gotta love it.
And then maybe we could do it live, but at least we had that one thing where we all created something together and we fell in love with it together. That's it.
Oh, that was so nice.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good way to end it right there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Ron, dude, thank you so much, dude.
Right,
I know we said it 1,000 times already, but truly, thank you very much. This was
huge honor.
Awesome.
Yeah, dude.
All right, man. I'm out.
You are, and we're just gonna take it. We're gonna take it out real quick. Battleforgecoffee.com, CaliDeathPodcast.BigCartel.com. The tour. Throw that flyer up real quick.
I'm doing multiple things. I'm rating and doing everything at once. But Jesus, God.
All right. If you're in Seattle this Saturday at the Bar House, you'll go see some brutal shit. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. Rock on.
All right, man. Y'all be good.